It's hard to understand the way that you went out. I bet you're living with a little hint of doubt. Maybe next time when you gotta show your hand, you won't cut and run, you'll finally make a stand. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Existential questions always get you down. All you want to know is are we lost or found? Is there something that you feel you need to chase? I bet you thought you put me in my place. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. You can run, you can hide, but inside, I'm finally getting to you. Yes, it's true. I still love you, but I am getting to you.
Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5,
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1. Mark.
Ooh, welcome back to the Resupply with me, guy next door.
And me, fan.
Bring you your semi-regular double tap of all things Space Marines and Laserforce. I sometimes I get the feeling that my youthful exuberance vexes you, my friend.
That would certainly be one way to put it. Yeah, yeah.
Nothing if not vexing.
That is an entirely accurate statement. But to be fair, it's not just you specifically that
just people.
vexes me on a consistent basis. So,
Yeah. We are obviously once again DK-less today, which is a shame because we miss him. But hopefully he's doing all right. He's got obligations.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He does have some obligations, but with any luck, he should be back next week, and then we can do a thing and mock him for having missed 2 shows in a row.
Yeah, maybe. We'll
Possibly.
see. Yeah, we'll see. Oh man, I don't know about you, but I'm awfully excited about Nats. Nats is like just around the corner, and I don't know. It seems this week because I've been taking like orders and stuff for merch, like the tournament shirts
Fuck, that reminds me. I need to actually specifically
Yeah.
order my
Yeah.
shirts from you.
You got
Fuck.
about 48 hours for the cutoff, so please.
Well,
Do-
then-
Oh, Pat, what's up, my bro? I can't wait to see you in a couple of months, dude. I don't think I've seen you for what 10? No, longer than that. Must have been
2008.
yeah, a long time.
Like 17 years, bro.
Yeah,
17 years.
it's been a minute. Yeah, I can't wait to see you, dude. It's gonna be a good. Yeah, old. That's right, Taipan. Old. But it was it might have been Ballarat, dude. Or
Which
like
if it's Ballarat, if it was Ballarat, that's 2008. That's 17 fucking years.
it might have been the year after. It might have been 2009. But still, that's like once you start getting into teens.
The difference between 16 and 17 years for having seen somebody. Oh my god, it's so much fucking different.
Just for legal reasons, the difference between 16 and 17
a
years,
lot.
Dan, is a lot. Okay.
Yes. Okay. No, that is in that context. You are entirely correct, sir.
just putting that out there for legal reasons. Let's sharply turn back to what I was talking about. We
Please.
I've been taking orders for merch this week, and cutoff for the tournament t-shirts is 48 hours. So if you haven't already ordered one of the Nat shirts and you want one, please reach out to me. I'll put you on the list. But I'm only doing pre-orders because we can't just make, we can't make them ad hoc. That's probably the incorrect use, but whatever.
No, that's actually 100% the correct use.
Oh, perfect.
Of that term in context. So Steve-O, I am very proud of you for correctly using a word in context. Well done, my friend.
Thank you.
Well
I've got that toilet paper that has a new word a day on it. I believe it's called "Wipe Yourself" to a better vocabulary. Doug's, you just saw an ad for a retirement home and for lightweight slip-on casual shoes. Yeah, you old, my friend. One thing I am currently working on is these. I got this cool hat this week. It's not quite right. I need to tweak it. So embroidery is a little hard when it comes to like intricate design. So this one, much like the last couple of years, is a simplified version of the logo, but we need to tweak it a little bit more. But once that happens, I'll send out some order forms for those if people want one. I am acutely aware of trying to shake people down for their cash. So please don't overextend yourself. I mostly there's a C-type out of the corner of my eye. I mostly give myself. I do this mostly so I can have it, right? But I figure I extend it out to people when they want it. What's up, Noel? Good to see you, brother. Who's the young guy on the left? Didn't realize GND had a son. Oh, man.
Allegedly.
Yeah. We could. There can't be two of me. All right. It can't happen. Than would die. If one vexes you.
Yeah, it wouldn't. It's not additive vexing at that point. It's multiplicative. So it may even be logarithmic at that point. Like,
right. Did you get the toilet paper too?
Have you met me? This is just the way I am.
Yeah. You had it.
I've been this way for years.
Yeah. One time. Yeah, exactly right. Dude, one is enough. All right, we got a couple of guests waiting in the wings, and we won't keep them waiting too much longer. But
I mean, we could keep them waiting.
Oh, fuck it. We'll make them.
It'd be fine.
No, because Taipan will sit there. Like, eventually he'll just insert himself in the convo. We're like, well, fuck, I guess we have a guest now. But
he's very good at that, I heard. Yeah.
Before we go over to them, is there anything that you want to touch on? Is there anything that happened this week noteworthy?
There is nothing that happened in my week that anybody would be interested in who is not part of any sort of corporate structure. So no, nothing that really I think anybody wants to hear about. Not that has ever stopped me from ranting about shit that nobody cares about, because it is at the core our show, and we do the show for ourselves, and people just happen to listen, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm a broken record at this point with kind of how my shit is going. Like, the only thing that I will say for this week is that Tuesday when I signed into work, I immediately sent like multiple messages to coworkers going, it seems like an absolute fucking scam that it is only Tuesday. How the fuck is it only Tuesday? And literally everybody that I've talked to this week has had that same reaction
Yeah.
in terms of like the week has just felt like it has gone on for fucking ever. Now, having said that, that is mostly pissing me off because yeah, I'm super excited for Nats too. Like more people have been like messaging saying, "Oh, hey, we've booked our accommodation. We're, this is booked, that's booked, this, this, that, the other." The show last week where you were like, "Hey, you need to order your stuff," and then I forgot to fucking message you to order my stuff. But like just like all that stuff is starting to like just kind of like stack on each other, and so it's the national snowball, as we like to call it. It's the avalanche, the avalanche that is just on its way, which is just pretty awesome. So
just I keep like kind of thinking about stuff that's gonna happen during the week, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be really cool. Well, seeing Pat pop up in chat, I'm like, I was thinking about this when I first, because I obviously we talked about the teams, and seeing that team specifically, I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. You're gonna catch up with some people we haven't seen for like
ages.
Yeah, like almost 2 decades. That's a long time.
because we're fucking old, bro.
I hate that.
We're old.
But yeah, it's I'm very excited. I've been training, as some of you kind of know. I haven't really talked about it a lot because every time I kind of get, I don't know, exercise and me, we have a complicated relationship, but I've been doing a bunch of training, trying to like get into relatively better shape before Nat. So, but also before I turn 40, which isn't that far away. And
sneaks up on you, bro.
Oh, bro. Which is interesting because you'd think I'd hear it coming with the creaky knees, but just like wham, back in the back of the head. So, we this week was probably like I hit like kind of a wall with that stuff, but have still managed to maintain some good momentum. So,
nice.
I think part of that is the excitement around Nats. So you do whatever you need to do, right? Right. Let's bring our guests in because you guys hear us talk all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a couple of guests one of whom but one of whom is very, very new to our competitive scene, but is making their appearance this year. Please join me and welcome. Oh, that's not the right button. Hang on. That was a close one. That was close. I was about to look like an idiot.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time, and it's not going to be the last.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Taipan and Coolbeans. What's up, gentlemen?
Good morning, and afternoon, and good night.
What? Yes, correct.
Cover all my bases.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Did you say you're a cat?
I'm out.
You're out. Yes, you are. Taipan and Coolbeans. Queenie.
The dynamic duo.
Do I recognize Queenie? Queenie is like Zone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a big fat bitch.
Type. You can't say
Whoa.
that. She's in the
Boys,
chat.
remember to backtrack, kids. We'll see you next week. I recognize
all the people that can't say that. I can say that.
I recognize the name, Queenie. Dolly, thank you very much for the resub, you bloody legend. Right, Taipan, obviously the Force community and adjacently the Resupply community are well aware of who you are. Thank you for
possibly a little too aware, but that's.
I'm multiplicative.
You're Oh, there we go. Yeah. Who needs toilet paper? Troy, thank you for the sub, dude.
Yeah, I just have sand.
But we'll come back to you, Taipan. But Coolbeans, Cam, thank you for coming on the show, bud. Like,
no worries. I got invited as what I thought was a joke. Taipan's like, oh, you should hop on. I'm like, yeah, haha, I will. He's like, so you're on tomorrow? I'm like, Oh, I did say yes, didn't I? Yeah, okay.
Going grocery shopping. Do you need anything? Cornetto? Yeah, just the cornetto. So Cam, it's funny that Taipan reached out because I was like, how do I reach out to the Zone guys and get them on the show?
Yeah.
Like literally, our post-show discussion last week was literally about this.
Yeah.
Why does no one fucking message me?
What? I didn't have to. You messaged me.
Yeah. So
There you go.
So Taipan. So apparently you read our minds, which I know it's not that hard at this time of the year. But yeah, like literally post show last week, Steve, literally the big conversation Steve and I were having was like, okay, well, yeah, we have the Zone team now. We know we have a full Zone team. Like, we should probably try to get some of them on to the show because that's definitely a perspective that people.
I'm surprised you guys wanted to talk to us, and you're like those filthy Zone play. No, wait till they get here.
Well, it's actually a trap.
Show them their play. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
You're falling right into it. No.
It's a hospital pass. We have totally hospital passed you.
Expose the ribs
for this. We're just gonna Pearl Harbor you 6 ways from Sunday. It's
Great.
You can't say that right now after
Yeah,
what
Jesus.
Israel just did to Iran.
Well, that's
you
far.
fucking next.
That's far more political than
okay,
we like
fair.
to get here. But yeah, like it's funny that it kind of worked out that way because, it's we when we heard that there was a team of Zone players wanting to play Nats, like Space Marines Internationals.
Yeah.
Me personally, in the past, I might have been like, brother, why? Like,
But you saw how cool we were, and you're like, actually,
Yeah.
I kind of vibe with
It'll
them.
be all right. Well, but honestly, for me, it was off the back of coming to what was the event, Taipan, that you came over here for? Was it like
New Zealand Invitational.
right?
Slash Worlds.
Okay, so I think I
Worlds.
heard it as Worlds, but like I didn't know if that was the correct term, and
The worst competition I've ever played.
Shout out Popeyes. But
No, they did okay. It was just the competition was shit.
but so I came up to Zone to like initially was like, oh, I'm gonna go catch up with Taipan and he's up there, so fuck it. I'm not too far away. I'll make the trip up and come hang out. But honestly, being up there and being amongst like the Zone community and kind of seeing you guys in your
Natural habitat.
yeah, in your competitive state got me real excited. How like I can't remember. You weren't there, right?
I was not.
No.
When the teams were being formed, I wasn't playing competitive. So,
Really?
yeah.
Interesting.
And then so teams were formed, and then I started hopping on.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I wanted to go to that. And you're like, yeah, we formed teams 2 years ago, buddy.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
Well, so how long
That's
have you
not
played Zone
true.
for?
What do you mean that's not? Sorry. Type in,
That
that's
is
true.
not true. My team was like finalized like 8 months out from Worlds.
Finalized, yes, but submitted. They were
My
submitted
team-
before.
It had to
like,
be
Hobart
submitted to
Nights.
be finalized.
Mm.
Was not before Hobart. I'm telling you. You got
Okay,
empty on.
So yeah, it sounds like I
Someone's
just got
onto-
scammed.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the thing.
So I started playing like our local scene in 2021,
Right.
on and off. Like I played for 6 months, off for 6 months, on for 6 months, and then I started going to comps in sort of late 2022.
Yeah.
My first nationals was in 2024, and then I
Nice.
just attended my second nationals in Queensland.
Wicked.
So yeah,
And when you guys say nationals, you mean national tournament? As
Yeah.
opposed to
not what? Yeah,
yeah. We refer to Nats like
As internet.
yeah,
It's kind of a hangover from the early days when it was basically just Australia. But
yeah.
So, but I mean, you say 2021. Were you guys not like locked down for that?
It was right before.
Wow.
I think, yeah. Like
No,
I started,
Australia didn't really lock down, especially the East Coast. Like, okay, the
I guess
Victorians
aside
did
from
because
Melbourne, right?
they're stupid people.
Well, that is one of the reasons I stopped playing for 6 months. I got into it and then we locked down.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Well, I guess I'm not playing for 6 months. And then I got out of it and then got back in. And I started working, so I got out of it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's got to be hard, man. Like if you're like, oh, I really want to get into this, and then they're like,
Yeah.
oh, ha ha ha, enjoy staying in your house.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
I like to imagine where I could have been if I was playing consistently for
Yeah.
that whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
It's like what could have been, you know?
What kind of game modes are your game modes for Zone, or do you prefer like everything?
So we played a lot of the 3-team format.
Yeah.
So like our nationals format,
Yeah.
where 3 teams, base evac, 7 lives, 45 shots,
Oh,
one
so
destroy.
the Elam one.
Not
No, no,
Elim.
no, no.
We have
No, Elim.
reloads.
Okay.
Resupplies for our Laserforce players. I know the lingo. I know the terms.
Always backtrack, kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coolbeans is still a baby. I am still a baby. I got no experience.
Oh, you and me both. See?
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
also shaved for this, and
Steve,
no one
you
pointed
could
it
you
out.
could tie that up and actually have your beard back.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can't grow a proper beard, which is partially why I grow the heron, because it just yeah.
Covers the rest of it.
Yeah. But okay, so mostly 3-team base evac.
Yeah.
What-
We didn't really play many other formats.
Yeah.
At our local scene, it was really just that for like training.
Right.
And then leading up to Worlds or like the Zone Internationals, we did start playing a lot more of that format.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it really.
Yeah.
The only other times we play other formats are at Nationals.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like Lord of the Rings and stuff. You guys don't really.
yeah, that's another thing we play as well, but more of as a warm up.
Yeah, okay.
We have a very small player base, so it's hard in the recent months to do a full team game with
Yeah.
15 players. So we
Feel
would
that.
do a lot of Lord of the Rings because there's 6 of us here. We can do 2 rings. So yeah.
That's rad. See, I mostly just wanted to throw those names out there because like I totally.
'Cause I know things.
I totally
Big
know.
brain.
I know a game. I know a game.
For someone let me go on the microphone actually at Worlds. And
Really?
Yeah. It was
It was a good time.
It was
one
fun.
of the best out of all of them, it was second only to the food stream that we got banned.
I was keen. I was trying to weasel my way on again, but it didn't really work out. And I didn't want to be like, "Hey, move over. Guy next door is here." You don't do
you
that.
know who I am?
I'm kind of a big deal, guys. Let me in.
I'm quite famous.
I'm very famous in this very small niche on the internet. Yeah.
It's an inappropriate use of the word famous. Right. So you've been playing competitive Zone for a while at this point.
Yeah.
Long enough. I hear your game's quite easy, so long enough.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I find no difficulty in it.
If I can win one, anyone can win one.
Yeah, exactly.
I say that knowing full well I've played Zone a couple of times and it's not easy. I got my ass handed to me. It was
Well,
brutal.
it's just it's such a different skill set.
100%.
From what we do on a regular basis. It's just different. It's so different. It's fun, but it's different.
We've had Popeyes, who's obviously Auckland-based Zone player, come and play at Force. A couple, like he was playing semi-regularly for about 4 or 5 months, maybe longer. I don't know. But yeah, just watching the transition between, and you can always tell when a Zone player turns up and plays Force, just because of the way that the movement is and the shots and
Yeah.
With that in mind, have you played on the Force system yet? Have you played Gen 8?
So we have 2 sites in Sydney. We have a Zone site,
Right.
and we also have a Laserforce site.
Right.
And You guys know Wildcard? I hear he dabbles in. No.
Nah, I don't.
Sorry, Wildcard. You're not famous.
He's no me.
Yeah, exactly. They don't let him commentate at Worlds, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
we
feel like Leech and Soul probably
They
know
might
who,
know him,
who he is.
Yeah.
Just-
So he used to manage, now owns that Laserforce site, and he was one of our zone players.
Right.
So he would do lots of like trainings and stuff. We were trying to get a league or like a members night going there for a while.
Yeah.
So I'd say about 6 months to a year into me playing consistently, we went down one week and checked it out, and it's sort of like every zone player that starts in Sydney. We started our zone site, and you get sort of okay at zone. You're like, I know what I'm doing now. This is great. And then you go over to our Laserforce site, and you're like, you're very up yourself. You're like, well, I know what I'm doing. I can shoot some people.
Yeah.
And you go down, you put a Gen 7 pack on, and you go into your first game. You're like, what was that? I can't hit anyone. What is this? I'm getting shot behind. What? Complete reset.
Yeah.
You know nothing. You're like, I'm actually terrible at the game. I don't know what I'm doing. So that's like a canon experience for every player that goes down. So we've traveled down a lot and played a lot down there. Not a lot of Space Marines, but I do have a lot of time on the packs in the system.
That's Gen 7, isn't it?
That's Gen 7.
Right.
There's a random bowling place down in Campbelltown that has Gen 8.
Interesting.
So I've been down there a few times. So I've also been on Gen 8. We were in
bowling as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm better at Gen 8 than bowling. Let's just say that. I'm pretty bad at Gen 8. We were in a group with casuals, so we were like using it as training. Their IR was set incredibly high, so we were just completely getting shot behind walls.
Yeah.
And so
welcome to Brisbane.
Yeah.
Oh no. So we sort of had to dial it back. We found the flashlight button. So for one of the games, we played really hard for 5 minutes and then just started flashing everyone.
Yeah.
Like instead of
That's a good way
tagging.
to get arrested. Yeah.
Which is very bad when there were kids inside the arena.
Don't
Excellent
flash
way to
kids.
get arrested.
Yeah. But it was fun.
That's awesome.
This is where the 16 and 17 gap comes in.
Yeah, fan.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm not going to elaborate on the flashing kids story.
Kripke, thank you very much for the subscription. Kripke is actually the new owner at Laserforce Auckland. So shout out.
What is with your Donkey Kong fucking dance?
Every time the lights go off. Hang on, watch.
Why did you decide on that?
Lights. I think my wife made it up. We were doing a stream and the lights started to go. She was like, lights. And now we have an emote and shit.
Yeah, but your wife's pretty.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
You just look
Fuck
like
you.
Donkey Kong.
I'll
Maybe
take it.
Diddy Kong now.
Yeah. So okay. So you've played on the system at least.
Yeah. We recently there was a competition a few months ago in Perth.
Yeah.
On Gen 7, but it was the zone format.
Yep.
So we sent a team over there. We got second. And we hated every second of it. Because it's such a, you know what you're doing because you've played zone.
Yeah.
But then that system difference, you're like, I have to play I have to change how I play.
Well, the phases
but it's
and
the
stuff,
same.
right? Like
Yeah. So the
It's
WA
the IR as well, Steve.
Really?
Yeah. The IR's very different.
And is that because it's the reverse IR versus?
Yeah.
It would have to be like it's physics at that point. So that makes sense.
It's so many micro things you have to change and always be aware of that. You've been playing zone for 5 years. They're just natural to you. You're like, I know I need to keep my shoulder like this. And then getting put in such a similar environment you get lured into like a safe, like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Oh, my shoulder was 2 millimeters out, so I got shot.
You're like, wild.
I actually think that is probably the biggest difference as well, is that, like, the IR does come into it, but the fact that, like, in zone, your shoulder sensors are there.
Yeah.
Oh,
to
right.
Laserforce that your sensors are there. So,
right,
like,
they're actually
being tucked
physically
in behind the wall, you kind of have to, like, be back up in behind your head.
Yeah.
And even then, like, you've got the bubble because of the reverse IR.
Yeah.
The WA guys have certain quirks with how they play.
Yeah.
So I have a phaser for demonstration. So
Oh, that's
a
cool.
lot.
Who'd you steal that from?
Wild card. This
Shout
was
out,
not
Wild
from
Card.
your site,
Yeah.
okay? It's broken. It's fine. You can't use it.
Right.
So
That might
when
have
we
been
would
me,
go
my
down
bad.
and play Gen 7, we'd do this sort of C grip, and you'd pull the trigger with your thumb.
Yep.
And it gives you. This is very similar to how we play Zone.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
system before the current one, it was called Nexus. Very similar shape. Actually.
Yeah, the faces are almost identical, except there's a big hump on the back of it.
This is what I want for my museum here is like all the old Force shit.
Yeah. It's such a cool backdrop.
I'm pretty
so-
sure
it's
they're
so
just
sick.
sitting at Brisbane out the back somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure I can hoard them from somewhere. But yeah,
I was
that's
gonna say just rob the place, but anyways.
I'm
You're from
always
New Zealand,
keen.
you'd get away with it.
yeah.
I'm always keen for more guns. So if you guys can, if some go missing and they appear
Yeah,
over
yeah.
here,
All right, I've got a new business opportunity.
yeah. So I only played the system a few times,
What's
but
that one?
this one's Nexus.
Right.
So this was our sort of early 2000 system. Or
Massive it is.
Yeah,
late 2000.
Yeah,
It's kind of exactly the same with a hump on it.
Yeah. I mean, Gen
Punch.
7's a bit smaller.
Right. Oh, actually, yeah, the phaser shade pretty similar.
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
The stock is obviously bulbous.
Mm. But you play them very similarly. So that's how we would always play.
Yeah.
You sort of you walk around like this, like C grip, and you can do lunges like that, or you play the other way, which is a bit uncomfortable.
Mm.
But there's lots of like switching your phaser.
Yeah.
It's like you're staying tucked up in a wall and you're shooting this way and then you're shooting this way,
Yeah.
which this allows for. And the WA guys do this,
Right.
and it just completely blocks your
Yeah, I
phaser
thought
from
that was
getting shot.
like an illegal shot. Is that not
It
the case?
is in internationals, it's not in zone.
Classic.
Yeah. I guess I think it's also a site rule that they allow it. But
Interesting.
they have this way of going up against panels where they like do this basically up on a wall so their shoulder can't get shot.
Right.
Because I've got a friend that I play almost every competition with, Dart. He is in the chat, hopefully.
Shout out
He's a
Dart.
degenerate.
Shout out.
He is.
He's a ginger, he's a horrible human being. Just
He's
because
alright.
he's a ginger. We know what gingers are like in this community.
Oh,
That
yeah, ginger.
is valid.
Can call it
So
another ginger,
we
ginger.
would go down to Menai on Laserforce and try and high posture, and we
Yeah.
just get shot every time.
Yeah.
We're like, it's impossible. And the Perth guys are like, no, you can do it.
Yeah.
You've just got to see how. And they show us, but the reverse is also true. They come back to zone and they try and do their stupid high hold,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work because there's just like a perfect window through here that you can get
Right.
shot
Yeah.
because the sensor sits lower.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, they come over and they try and play it like Laserforce,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work.
Interesting.
So it's like little tiny things like your arm goes from here to here,
Mm.
like, and you just have to always keep that in mind, and it's just mentally taxing in games because like you get shot 3 times, but you're like,
Fuck.
I need to clean that up, man. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting to think about because, like, to me, when you have, let's say you're playing with the public, so that jump from the public to where we are as Force players, they don't, to them, or they look at like all laser tag is laser tag. They don't understand the
Yeah.
difference, right? So then that seems like the next step up is also zone on Nexus versus Nexus 2 versus
Helios
Force.
Pro.
Yeah, like
Mm.
they're actually well, not completely, but they're different games, right? They're essentially
Yeah.
different games.
Yeah.
That's fascinating, man. And this conversation is kind of what I started diving into when I went up to Worlds, and
Mm.
you just kind of, it was the first moment in my, so I've been playing laser tag now since the year 2000.
Wow.
And
Youngin.
yeah, yeah. Some of us.
I was born in 2003.
Oh, don't
Oh,
start.
fuck off. Oh.
I went to my first internationals in 2003. That's wholly depressing.
I graduated high school in 97 and started playing in 97.
Oh,
You're so fucking old.
I love when you talk, Than, because it makes me feel better.
I've
He
been playing
uses a
for
completely
I've been
different
playing for
dialect.
6 years before you were born.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what my point was gonna be. Who cares?
Dan, I'm a 94 baby. Does that make you feel better?
See, even, like,
Marginally.
people born in the 90s, that's depressing. But yeah, Yeah,
Bro, it's
people
the
who
best generation. That's all I can say.
hard
90s kids are best kids.
And you say
I feel like I'm a 90s kid at heart.
90s kids. Oh, we
Not
X kids.
no Taipan. 90s kid implies that you were actually like
A
me.
human
Yeah.
being.
Me, I was a 90s kid because I had my
Yeah.
formative years in the 90s.
Yeah, basically what it is we're in the Matrix. So anyone born after the 31st of December 1999 actually doesn't exist and is a figment of our imagination.
It's
Yeah,
part of the simulation.
You guys have been talking and answering questions just from nothing.
Yeah, from nothing.
Yeah. There's
I
no
mean,
one here.
That's a Tuesday for me. Yeah. So I think this is what I was gonna say. So like for my whole like laser tag career, let's say, I've always not really enjoyed other forms of laser tag just because it's not for me it's not natural. You know, Laser Force is natural for me, right?
It's that big adjustment whenever going to a new
100%.
system. Yeah.
But it wasn't until you know I came up, hung out with Taipan at Worlds, and I was like, you know what, this is actually kind of cool. I don't want to play it, but I like
You
I can
could,
appreciate it
because it's in New Zealand. That's next year, so you don't have to fucking go anywhere.
Yeah, except
And then you can just be shit and win the wooden spoon, and then you've won something.
Ooh.
You've won the wooden spoon in both.
Oh, that's not bad.
You can do the reverse Taipan.
Hey, no, I haven't. Are you so Taipan? Actually, that's a good that
Yes.
you touched on it because I don't think we talked about. Oh no, I think we might have. But let's touch on it again. Are you the only player to do that?
Yes.
To win titles?
Force and
both?
Zone.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
impressive, dude.
Don't stroke his ego too much. We'll never hear the end of it.
Yeah, that's
I'm
why the
just-
last
okay.
show lasted so long.
I can't stand up right now. That's all.
It's a good thing we changed the camera angle.
Is that a phaser in your pants? Or...
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
excited
illegal
to see
grip.
you.
That's an illegal grip.
Well, and so zone stuff like I've played like V4 and V5 back in the day because again I'm old, and then I've also played some of the other zone systems as it's gone, and the thing is like I actually really enjoy certain aspects of zone, like because it is so different and because it is so timing based and because it does force you into like basically a different mindset of playing than Force, obviously. And there are things that you can, like, if you're a Force player and you play some Zone, there are things that you can take from Zone into Force in terms of additional arena awareness and movement and things like that. And I'm sure that the reverse is also true. Like if you're a Zone player playing Force, there are certain things that you can go, oh wait, maybe this has an application over here as well.
Can I
absolutely.
tell you, having been at the top of both, that is absolutely factually fucking inaccurate.
What?
It is bullshit. I have to forget how to play fucking Zone to play Laserforce.
Right.
I think that is a skill in and of itself. So
I walked back into Brisbane, and my first score, I walked in, I was playing like Scout or Ammo or something, and I was like, how the fuck do I do this again? Like, this is all fucking weird.
So
like, factually inaccurate. Nothing gets translated over. It's bullshit.
Going in between two systems and being good at both of them, I think is a skill. So there was a period in Zone where we were going from, because Zone releases systems sort of every 5-10 years.
Right.
And sites are either reluctant to upgrade or buy the newest thing instantly.
Yeah.
So we had Helios at home, Nexus down in Albury, and then H2 in Hobart, and then Albury got H2. So you're changing systems constantly.
Right.
And then also mix in some Laserforce. We were doing Zone format on Laserforce down at our Laserforce site.
Yeah, okay.
So going between 4 different systems, you have to stay mentally agile. Like you're like, no, I've got to really, like my timing, I have to remember what the timing is. I have to remember that this one has a barrel sensor. And then Nexus, the whole gun can be shot. So it's almost like having a barrel sensor like in H2. But so being able to adapt between those systems and have no downtime of like adjusting I think is a skill in of itself.
100%.
Like being able to just, oh no, I'm playing Laserforce now. I know how to do this. Okay, I'm doing H2. I remember the timing.
Yeah.
That I like to think that I'm all right at going between the systems. I'm probably not. I'm probably terrible. But in my head, I'm like, I'm shooting people.
That's wild.
So,
You played better than Dart at that, so like.
I know. I always do. Look at the Ascensions Day. A really funny thing that I keep bringing up is for both years in a row, my best stats have been on Ascensions Day, and I've said to Dart's like my closest friend at Zone. We play everything together. Unfortunate for him because he hates me.
Obviously,
but,
yeah.
It's just like me and Andrew. You like see the similarities?
Andrew's like, we're not best friends.
Yeah.
I just hate you.
I thought it was yeah. But I forgot
It's
my
me
point.
talking to myself.
But he
hates you.
He hates me. But every year I go, dude, I played out of my mind that game. Like my best stats were on Ascensions Day.
Yeah.
And which is like our elim, like the final leg of the comp. Like that's your double elim games.
Right.
And I go like, I played out of my mind. He's like, yeah, like it doesn't really matter. Like your stats over the whole comp. I'm like, no, this is a double elimination game.
Yeah.
You have to be playing at your best.
Nah,
So-
I grew into it, bro. You started good and got shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, it's always my problem with Nats is that like when you and specifically this year, I don't want anyone to go look at the final stats because I did not have a good finals. Well, I went from being like, yes, I'm playing and shooting shit to being like, I am the captain. This is what we're doing. Let's go fucking that way.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that will stand here and be the bullet
sponge.
Yeah.
Yeah, legit. You guys get in the base, shoot shit, and we'll win.
It's and I got to see a little taste of that when you were here playing with your team, and like I went outside and watched you lay the law down with that team, and it was good. I was like, yeah, get it, Taipan.
When people decide to listen to me, it's funny how good things go.
That's why you're our coach. for internet.
So
I was the coach a couple of years ago in Bendigo.
Have you guys played any Space Marines yet?
So I have played a grand total of 2 Space Marine games. Maybe three.
Yeah.
Our issue is we don't have a Laserforce scene. We have a
Right.
zone scene, like in Sydney.
Yeah.
We have a zone scene that has to play on Laserforce.
Yeah.
So we're like reluctant. We play a lot of Laser Ball. We really like
cool.
Laser Ball.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it's like Zone Ball, right? Like
It's
Yeah.
I think it's better than the zone format.
you heard it here
actually.
first, kids.
Yeah.
Better.
And I think you'll find everyone that plays it at our Laserforce site will agree. It's just so much cleaner in
Right.
the way the game plays. There's less the game kind of babies you into playing the game properly. So in Zone Ball on Zone, because we never played it at our zone site.
Right.
But like the players have to reset themselves, and so if one team doesn't do it, or a kid one player gets lost in a reload, like it's bad. Whereas on the Laserforce system, it forces you to go back and
Please return
reset.
to
and-
your base to it's that one.
Yeah, that
Nailed
one.
it.
And then return to your base. And the clears, we really like the clears function.
Right.
Because the way our maze is built, it's sort of 2 corridors and then a bit of maze at the end.
Yeah.
So having the ball, there's so many long sight lines that you just can't get past. So having clears, if you have a really good defender at home, they're able to steal the ball and
And
clear.
then clear it out. Yeah.
Yeah. And then resets playing into that. We used to hate resets. First one, you're like, this is stupid. Why can I get shot when I'm dead? But then playing laser ball competitively in like a really structured format, you're like, okay, well, I need to go and reset off another player so I can get their defender and keep their defender down so that when my defender clears the ball and clears it to me, I can score.
Yeah.
It's all these little features that you explain them and you're like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
And then you play a really structured competitive game at the not high level, but 2 teams that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Competitive. Yeah. You're like, like resets are all right. I kind of like this. Yeah.
Now I know
So-
who can't stand up.
so yeah, the fact that you guys only have a a very few number of Space Marines 5 games coming into this. So when are you guys actually getting to Brisbane so we can try to get as many practice games for you guys as possible? Like,
they're moving up here right now. Like,
well, I got my stuff packed up. I'm moving in with Taipan.
Yeah, and I'm not being funny with that. Like that is a genuine like thing of like, given the lack of game time,
So
we obviously want to make sure that you guys
don't spoon horrendously.
Yeah.
Correct.
So Dart, once again, my best friend, he doesn't think so. We're stupid. We do lots of long drives.
Gingers.
I hate gingers. Anyway,
that's going to be my hashtag. It's not going to be
hashtag hate gingers.
Anymore. Hashtag fucking gingers.
Anyway, we were driving down somewhere. It was like an hour and a half drive, and we're really bored. We're like, type in, send us the laser tag rule, like the Laserforce rulebook.
Yeah.
And we read through it, and we tried to get an understanding of the game.
Yeah.
This is before we had played anything. Then on one of our leagues down on our Laserforce site, we attempted to play a game.
Yeah.
Dart set himself to the wrong. He was a heavy or a scout, or he was the wrong role and was confused. The other team, their medic was TKing all their players. He was trying to heal while they were dead.
Oh no!
Oh no!
So he like eliminated their ammo like really early. So the training wasn't great.
Yeah.
But we're trying to do more training. We're like running more Space Marines at our like league.
Yeah.
There's 2 players who are talking a wild card. He owns the site to come up and do some training.
Yeah.
Which is Lone Soul and Leech.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
Okay, so they're on my team. Those are my teammates.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
They have been playing for a long, long time. I think Lone Soul have been playing since 06.
Listen to Soul, don't listen to Leech.
Okay.
Nah, they're both very good players. But
They are both very good players.
What's good is they'll give you the 2 different perspectives.
Yeah.
Leech will give you an attacking perspective. Lone Soul was very much a defensive kind of player.
Mm-hmm.
But have a wealth of knowledge. But yeah, sorry, continue.
Yeah. So we're trying to tee up a training night.
Yeah.
So 3 of our players are from 4 of our players actually, are from Sydney.
Right.
It's basically our nationals team from 2024.
Right.
Which is pretty cool because the vibes are there,
awesome.
the cohesion's there. One of our players is from Canberra. They don't really have a Laserforce site.
His code name's Breedable Twink.
Oh my god. No, it's not. It's really Breedable Twink. Actually, I'm wearing his jersey.
Finn.
His name is
Shout
Finn.
out Finn.
With 3 N's. Spell it with 2.
What's up, Sol? Sol's in chat.
Nice.
See, I'm saying nice things about Sol.
We were just talking you up, bro. I don't know if you heard, but we were just talking you up.
So 4 players from Sydney, 1 from Canberra who can't train, but I'm trying to bully him into like catching the train up and just staying here for a weekend. And then one of our players is from Perth, who owns the Laserforce site. He's the one that hosted the Laserforce tournament that we went over to.
Okay.
So he owns the. Oh.
Speaking of which, hey Finn, thank you for the follow.
So he owns the site as well. We have 2 Laserforce site operators on our team, which is pretty
that's awesome.
goated. Yeah.
He is one that has nationals experience. SM5 experience.
Right.
So he's played SM5 in WA when they were running SM5.
Yeah.
Is that with like Wombat and the crew?
Yeah.
Obviously, Wombat kind of is from a Force background. Is that right?
Yeah, zone background into Force.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Oh, dude, I'm like. The first thing I'm going to do when I get off this podcast is go to the Air New Zealand website and check out flights to Sydney.
So you're not even booked?
Oh, no. I booked to come
Brent's
to
gonna
Nats. I'm like,
Brent's going to be so
We're going to come over for a training
Yeah, I
session.
kind of want to. I kind of want to.
So, like, I'm sure Perth guys are doing training. We're trying to organize something.
Yeah.
I'm looking at coming up on the Friday, Saturday, and because there's a zone competition on the Sunday. So is it on the Sunday or the Saturday?
It's on the Sunday.
In Brisbane?
Run we run a state-based
thing.
comp, which was called North versus South. So it was Sunny Coast versus Launton. So Sunny Coast versus Brisbane. but now it's called QPL, Queensland Premier League.
Cool.
Very fancy.
Woo!
But it's like a closed, like it's a state only comp, so it's
Right.
a closed comp.
Yeah.
Only Queenslanders. So rocking up with a team of right, of standard Queenslanders.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
always
Um,
been like this. Don't be
Yeah.
surprised.
I bleed red, mate. Sorry, maroon. I bleed maroon.
Maroon. you
Maroon.
fuck.
Maroon.
Maroon. Yeah,
Maroon.
not a
Maroon,
bunch
you
of
fuck.
maroons.
You're all,
rocking
you're all
up.
a bunch of morons. That's accurate.
And like it's not uncommon for out of state players like, hey, I'm in Queensland for the week, like can
Yeah.
I jump on a team?
Yeah.
But I think bringing a whole team, just like a pretty well-rounded team, going, hey guys, like we're playing.
We're in town.
Yeah, we're in town.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you got +1 of a team.
Yeah.
So that'll be pretty good. It's going to be a hectic weekend. Just
Yeah.
if there's training, doing as much training as possible.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we've got a few months of like local training.
Yeah.
And then going over doing more training, then a zone comp, and then back to the actual competition.
Yeah.
It's going to be so
That's
fun.
wild, dude.
Yeah.
So, just to clarify, so there's 4 of you from Sydney, and then 2 of you from
One
WA?
from one from Canberra,
Yeah.
one from WA.
One from
So
WA.
yeah,
So
Okay.
there's basically 5 from Sydney and 1 from WA.
yeah.
Why does Canberra is
Canberra's-
doesn't
Sydney
fucking
adjacent?
count. Yeah.
Canberra's not a real state.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah. So the first time you guys will get to play together as a team will be the weekend, like the training sessions. before.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
basically. But I think key, like I've played on a team with all these people before, and so like Wildcard and Gaza, who's our Perth player, they've played together. I've played with him on a zone. Like they've played Laserforce together.
Right.
I've played with him on zone.
Yeah.
Finn and I have played so many comps together. So I think the cohesion, like Finn is probably going to have the least experience
Right.
on Laserforce.
So Finn's on your team. Actually, just quickly, who's actually on your team? What are the code
So
names?
it's Coolbeans,
Yeah.
Dart, Wildcard,
Oh,
Bluely.
Dart as well? Oh, fuck yeah.
Dart, yep. So those are our 4 Sydney players.
Yep.
Finn is our Canberra player.
Yeah.
And then Gaza is our Perth player.
Sure.
And that makes our 6. Yeah.
I missed the 4th. Sorry, I talked over you. Who was the
Bluely.
4th one?
Bluely and Wildcard.
Okay,
Yeah.
sweet, awesome.
So, yeah.
So fun fact, this may be the shortest team in the history of laser tag.
But I mean,
The average height on this team is about 5'5".
it's below a meter.
so
it's
it can be like sort of benefit. Like I find personally in Brisbane. Have you played the Brisbane arena yet?
I haven't.
You haven't.
Gaza had.
Yeah.
We had a pre-nationals tournament up in Sunny Coast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then
And-
Gazza came across and played.
Yeah,
Oh,
they hung
cool.
around for a day and went and played your league
Night.
night. Yeah. So he's been there,
Okay.
and we've got a maze map, and Dard and I froth
Sure,
over maze
yeah.
maps. Just So
Yeah.
yeah.
So what I was gonna say is like there are benefits to being quite short in that arena, but me personally, I've always had the thought that in Brisbane you either want to be really short or you want to be really tall. If you get caught somewhere in the middle, like we are,
Like me, yeah, like me.
you're in this like awkward, like okay, I'm too tall to like comfortably squat behind the walls,
Yeah.
but I'm too short to comfortably shoot across, the arena effectively.
Yeah.
As visiting players, obviously it's different if if you're a Brisbane player, like you kind of get used to it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how you guys adjust to that.
Yeah.
What to circle back to what you were saying before around like resets in Laserball.
Yeah.
Have you guys has your team as a whole kind of had any sort of experience with like trying out the rules? So the resets.
So we play with resets pretty often.
Okay.
They're on for most of our games. So
Okay.
we've been playing there for now sort of 4-ish years,
Right.
like regularly.
Yeah.
So going and resetting is pretty natural to us.
Awesome.
We haven't really played with like the no following rule or like the show a shoulder shot
Okay.
rule. Or like we're not
Yeah.
following the rule book to a T.
Yeah.
We probably should. So we're still like we play Space Marines. Well, in the 2 games that we did play, but we were all playing with our like sort of traditional play style.
Yeah, so
of
kind
of Zone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so sort of like paneling and like
Little tentative, like
yeah.
Okay.
We because the IR is so big, when we go and play our Laserforce site, we sort of naturally come out of that as the night goes on because you realize, well, if I go behind a wall like this, I'm going to get shot anyway.
Get
So I
you
might
anyway,
as well
yeah.
I might as well full swing it.
Yeah.
So that's why we would do the C grip and sort of, yeah. So yeah, I think it's going to be an easy adjustment because we do it naturally as we play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It so, and that's, you know, our scenes have always kind of been divided by not only the equipment, resets being one of the big things. Like in so for instance in Europe, specifically in the Czech Republic, they have their resets either turned off or I think the
Very
resets-
minimal.
Yeah. So that's always been a big thing. But the other thing is the rule set, and even within our in the Laserforce community, there's always been a divide between like ex Zone players or people that kind of grew up playing that style.
Yeah.
Versus you know us who play by the international rule set, which is the rules that we play now, predominantly across the board. I think that's the biggest adjustment. And I think most of the players, like most of the Force players, that are attending, like understand where you guys are kind of at, and like, you know, we have, well, I don't want to speak for the whole scene, but for me personally, I'm like, all right, we need to have like an understanding that it's you know, yeah, you'll get penalized. But it's not like you guys are doing it on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. We're not doing this because we're gaining an advantage. I'm doing it because this is what I've known for 5 years. Like, we often joke that we're like, boys, we're going to go over and we're going to cop a bajillion terms. But it doesn't matter. We've got a saying in Zone, back the pack. So bases in our format play a very heavy role in the game. And usually the team with the most bases usually wins. But the way our team plays, we're very reserved, and we're going for like ratty shots where we're sitting 3 panels back and playing really defensive and just getting like pack tags. And so we're like, back the pack is the saying. And so we're like, we're going to go over, we're going to get 42 terms per person every game, but back the pack, we'll outscore the terms, just back the pack.
Well, so we, you know, like, I don't know if anyone's kind of said, like, we play with a 0-point penalty system these days.
I have heard this, yeah.
And, you know, it, like, there's like a threshold, not a set in stone threshold, and I would imagine, again, there'd be a little bit more leniency for you guys because there's an adjustment period. But, yeah, for the first little while, at least, like, it's not going to affect the score. I think, like... I think for the community, and we kind of had this when we hosted internationals in Auckland, the community appreciates when people make the effort, like, and you can tell when people are making an effort, like,
for sure.
We have a very similar thing in Zone where the rule book says no leniency. If they break a rule, they break a rule.
Right.
You got to term them.
Yeah.
But if it's a player's first competition, and it varies on the level of competition, like at a league, you don't really have refs. At like a small state comp where it's like, hey guys, like we're doing training, like come as your national team. If a player breaks a rule, you're like, you've been playing for 4 weeks, buddy, you just can't do that.
Right.
And then you get to sort of like pre-nationals level competitions where it's a bit more chill. It's like, hey, like, but you can't do that. And then you get to nationals, you're like, I really don't want to term you because I know you've only been playing for 3 months, but you just broke a rule. I have to. So, but you like this leniency that you sort of apply on a case by case basis. You're like, all right, but you've been playing for 10 years. You know that's a rule break. And it's usually those players that will argue back with you as well. You're like, no, remember, I'm in the right.
I don't argue with anyone ever.
I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
I've heard a lot of, not arguments, but I've heard a lot of, ref, could you please clarify?
I still want to punch Than in the throat from 2018, costing me a fucking game.
Oh well, game's the game.
Game's the
hate,
game.
Hate the game, not the player.
Still against Brisbane A.
We'll circle back to that real quick. So
I don't remember this.
just to
That's 'cause you're
clarify,
old.
with the rules, and when I say
Accurate.
like you know, that like leniency, like the way we do our rules now is there's a built-in leniency, so like
Yeah.
you still get penalized, but it's not going to cost you that 1,000 points like it used to.
Yeah.
Unless you
Um,
blind shoot the medic, in which case.
In which
Which
case,
I-
yeah, you're probably in trouble.
I think
but-
is a really good system because on
Same.
Zone you have a verbal which isn't really recorded. That's your hey buddy, don't please
Knock it off. Yeah.
Hey,
And
Taipan.
then you got a yellow card like a level 1. That's 1,000 points.
Right.
and 15 seconds.
and 15 seconds. Then a level 2, which is 30 seconds and 2,000 points.
Yeah.
And it just it seems like a really harsh escalation
Yeah.
from like, hey, please don't, bam, 1,000 points gone. You know,
especially when you know what an average score is anywhere from 5 to 10k in your
yeah, exactly. So 1,000 points is a really big difference, and depending on the player as well.
Yeah.
Like a player who's in defense, if you've got a strong field presence, is probably not going to get that many points.
Yeah.
So you know they're holding on to their 1.5k,
Yeah.
and then they do a tiny slip up, like they accidentally base jump, or they cover a little bit, and bam, all their points are gone now.
Yeah.
And so then it affects you mentally.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
I've just lost all my points. I've only shot 10 people this game, and now that's gone. You know?
I
It-
will say that I think, like, I understand the points element of this, and like, I always thought that was the issue in Laserforce, is that people would go, "Oh, I'm losing 1,000 points." Like, for me personally, that was what it was always about.
Mm.
In Zone, I actually like when I look at my terms, I look at the time. Like 15 seconds and 30 seconds. If I get a red button, I'm out of the game for
That's-
30 seconds.
It's
a long time.
And
Mm.
like, I can score 2,000 points in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So the points is null and void for me. If you
Yeah.
give me a 2,000 points penalty and it's 8 seconds out of the game, not to worry, I'll make that back. Like, I got you. Like, back the pack.
Yeah.
Stupid
Yeah.
saying.
Back the pack. Back the pack.
But you sound like fucking Guinea. So, yeah.
But that's kind of the point. Like with our scene, like you know, we used to have 1,000 point penalties, and for the most part, we've gone to the 0 point penalty system, and it's kind of what it does is it breaks your momentum as a player. If you get especially an attacking player, if you get penalized as
Yeah.
an attacking player, that breaks your attacking momentum, which can swing games, but if you're going to get penalized any like 1,000 points, sometimes they can have
Yeah,
as
adverse
negative.
effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this way, so the way we try and kind of look at it, well, some of us do, is like, oh, it's like a foul in basketball, right? Like,
Yeah.
you did a thing wrong and there needs to be consequences, but it shouldn't be, you know, in some instances, a quarter of your points or a fifth of your points, depending on how your game was going, you know?
Yeah, it shouldn't cost you a target
Yeah.
worth a point.
yeah,
Like-
yeah, exactly. And some argue that it's swung the other way, like it's you know not as bad, but
No, I think so. Beans in chats with 0 point systems cause so much less drama.
for the most part.
I mean, there's always going to be a certain level of drama when penalties get called because some people just don't think they ever do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Some of it's
Stop looking at me.
but some of that
I
is
love-
a holdover from the previous system.
I love that all three of us looked at Taipan and immediately did that. That was
I didn't.
delightful.
I'm with you, Taipan. Fuck these guys. No, no.
But yeah, just having that, having it basically be a combo breaker where it's like, okay, yeah, you did a bad thing. Okay,
You're sit in
you
the
as the
corner.
attacking player, yeah, you now can't reset these three people that you would put somebody
Yeah.
down by shielding. Well, now you have to just go away and start over because you did a bad.
Mm.
But yeah, we're not going to drop a targets where the points on you. The combo break is enough
Yeah,
in that moment.
and
Yeah, I think what I will say is that and it's going to be a really interesting thing because obviously this generation of Brisbane players has grown up without,
with 0 points.
and well, not even that. It's this is going to sound a bit rough, but we all know that Brent was never the best ref. Right? We all know that Rusty was never the best ref. We all know. Except for Coolbeans. You'll find out.
Actually, I think Rusty started coming to our local league like
When?
3 years ago. He rocked up one random day, and we're like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Oh, like I used to play like laser tag competitively. I've been to a nationals."
Nah,
And
this
we're-
isn't Brent.
Yeah,
Brent would have
no.
told
Yeah,
you that
different
he's
person.
he's
Okay.
world champion.
because his name was Rusty, and
Was
so
he?
we're like, we were like, what? We check base. Owen and I have a spreadsheet that has every team for the last 20 years and where they placed and what players were on them.
I don't know what that's like at all.
Now Fan can't stand up.
But and we're like, so we're searching our spreadsheet that we have. We're like, we can't find you anywhere. So we're like, well, he must just be a Laserforce player then.
Right.
So yeah,
It could have been Shaz, not Rusty so much.
yeah.
Big gingers. But yeah, like Brent was never the best ref. Andrew was always a decent ref without being like as. I still think that Peter was the most biased ref that I've ever had, but just fucking watch me. Type in your blind shot. How did you see that? I was 3 fucking kilometers away, but I was watching you. Yeah, okay, Peter.
Hold a grudge, mate.
He still fucking does it every now and then. Like, it just pops up out of the blue. Bang. Fuck you.
Where did you even come from?
Yeah, legit. Just out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
The ghost of Peter's time comes out.
That sounds like PTSD, my friend.
It is PTSD.
Yeah.
Fucking Than.
Catch strays out here.
Stop cheating. I won't have to penalize you.
I didn't cheat. It was DK that penalized me.
Beans in chat. Nats hasn't started yet and Taipan's already complaining. I like how, you know what I love? I love how Taipan catches strays from both the zone and the Laserforce community.
Yeah. This is what you get when you're
What
an
was your
extrovert.
point? Did you just want to like
No.
shit talk Rusty? Make your point.
If we're just naming players we hate, I got a list, you know.
Yeah,
like-
Hang on, it's on my shelf.
but like these kids have grown up in a time where like Brisbane had always had really good referees. And
Okay.
they've grown up in a time where Brisbane probably hasn't had a lot of decent refs. Like there's a few that are there or thereabouts, but there's never been like a Peter anymore or Chris as much reffing anymore or things like that. Or Anarchy or like
Right.
Troy's a fucking shit ref as well.
Obviously.
But like when you look at like who you'd class as like the top referees from Brisbane in the last 7 years, they're kind of gone. So
you know what I
I'm
think
really
that is?
interested to
They just had an exodus of the people that have been there for
old
15,
people.
20 years, you know,
Old
plus.
people. Although the old people are back now when you've got Pat, Tish,
Oh,
Scraps,
so awesome.
and all that on a
Yeah.
team. So
But you're
like,
missing like, you know, those people that when you started playing,
Yeah.
they had been established for so long, and so when
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
you know, and I you know, maybe that's just the bias of time.
Oh, it is. But like when you look at the referees back in the day, right? Like I started with Prophet, Traj,
mm,
Jared was always a pretty good ref.
right.
Like Darren, Amy, like even like your mid tier refs were pretty good refs.
Right.
When nowadays like it's not quite as high quality as it was, and yeah, you did have that exodus. You're absolutely correct.
Mm.
So I'm interested to see how this Brisbane like Team Potato or whatever the fuck Brent called them. I think we're Team Potato.
Yeah, I think you're Team Potato. Are you talking about Troy's team?
No, the other one.
The other one.
Yeah.
Right.
So the new kids.
Yeah.
New kids on the block. They I'm interested to see how they referee because a lot of them haven't actually refereed properly. They don't go in, they don't referee properly.
Yeah. Well, Troy
And-
just said in chat like the newer players are too scared to penalise. That can be like a symptom
Brisbane
of
under 25s.
again, like, you know, back in the day, if you got penalised, and for someone, this is an outside perspective looking into the Brisbane community, if you got penalised, you were gonna cop some shit from yourself, from Rusty, from Trad, from just the more experienced players who saw things different, and you know, I'm not like innocent of that either. Like I had a very heated discussion on Tuesday this week, about a particular incident. I was 100% sure I was in the right. I wasn't the person who was perpetrating, but like I watched the whole thing play out, and I was like, no. What happened was clean. The other player was 100% sure that it wasn't clean. So, and that's the problem. Like when
playing to watching perspective.
Yeah, and that's a hangover from, you know, in the past the penalties were so brutal that if you got penalized, it was worth your while to argue them. Yep. Whereas we've kind of tried to move away from that, because, you know, like I was saying before, like it's less of a big deal.
Yeah. So it'll be amusing.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. It'll be fine.
I will say though, right? I'm gonna agree with Troy to some extent, right? They're a bit scared to call it, but at the same time, I think the issue is that it's also the fact that, like, if they do call a penalty, and I got a perspective from one of them this week, and I don't know whether it's going to be a perspective from all of them or whether it's going to be a perspective of a select few. But when Peter first like brought this idea through that, hey, we should do 0-point penalties and blah 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 blah, I was one of the first people that turned around and went, oh, I don't think this works. And then I thought about it and I went, oh, maybe it will, and oh, but this is why it won't work, this is why it will work. I was kind of like right in the middle. When Peter brought it into Brisbane, and this is where I think there's going to be a couple of headaches. Peter brought it in and said, if you think they've done it, term them.
Yeah.
But if they're about to do it, term them.
Yeah. It's like preemptive, right? That's the idea of 0-point. It's supposed to be preemptive, but it's so hard to,
How does the 0-point work? So is it a case of you apply the penalty in game and have to like explain all of them after game and then say how do you guys have level 1, level 2?
No.
No.
Just one.
Well,
okay.
So I guess technically we do, but the actual kill out of game penalty is not one that gets used in game. So that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
But in terms of how it's applied, so you'll get hit with a penalty during the game. You get a nice little yellow card on the scoreboard, which is then chat is always just ever so excited to see those show up when they're watching the streams. But then literally it's post game, when the refs are doing their thing, they'll be, okay, did anyone hand up penalties? Yes. Okay. What was it? It was this person because I saw them do this. Cool. Yeah. And then it's just basically a keep track of, because while there isn't a set thing of like, oh, if you get this many penalties, then they're going to start counting. There is a point at which it's like, okay, this person has been warned about, been penalized for this specific thing this many times.
Yeah.
Therefore, the next time they do this thing and they get penalized, then we are going to apply the 1,000 points to it. So so in the case of I'll use myself as an example. Like if I get 1 shield, 2 shields, 3 shields, at that point it's probably like, okay, Dad, you've been playing way too fucking long. This there's a certain point which is like, we're going to start actually giving you the points penalties, and it's going to be a pretty low threshold because I should know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
Whereas you guys, not that you don't know what the fuck you're doing, but you don't know what the fuck you're doing in
this,
our game.
Absolutely agree.
He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, fan.
Yeah.
So
in general.
Yeah. So the threshold for where we're going to start applying points for your penalties is going to be a lot higher, unless there's a moment where we can just tell like somebody has done something just deliberately shitty, and it's me like,
Yeah.
bro, what
Yeah,
the fuck?
yeah.
But at the
yeah.
same time, like I'm trying to think, it's been a really long time since I can remember us handing out a penalty around somebody being like just deliberately shitty. Like pretty much every penalty that's been handed out for almost as long as I can remember now. Like the last time I can really think about it is 2015 in Loveland, which is a whole other thing that we're just not going to get into.
Yes.
Um,
Fake Nats.
Yeah, no, that was 2016. 2015 was not fake, but the result sucked. That's kind of the last
that's
time
asterisk Nats.
That's one of the asterisk Nats. Yeah,
one of the asterisk Nats. So there's a certain amount of like everybody is playing to the spirit of what the rules and the game should be lately. Like that's been just kind of the thing, which is fucking great. Like nobody wants to play a game with people who are deliberately cheating. Or
just quickly on that,
or deliberately infringing.
I think that's why we need to get rid of the word, like very carefully
cheating,
rid of, stop using that so flippantly, because people generally aren't trying to cheat. There's a difference between cheating
and infringing.
Yeah.
Because people aren't deliberately cheating, they're infringing. Like
usually
okay,
there's technique or
so penalties get handed out. It's fine. So I think that's going to be the same thing, because I don't think you guys are going to come in and be like dickbags about hey, we're going to deliberately do all this zone stuff that is not legal in force, and we're just going to try to gain some advantage by doing it. Like that does not strike me as the type of experience that you guys are going after.
No.
Oh no, Dart will. Wait until you meet this kid. It's Brent 2.0, but worse.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Cam?
I feel like that's very similar to Zone as well. I feel like 90% of the players, and then the terms that at least I hand out, like, that sucks, man. Like, I know you weren't intentionally doing that, but you infringe. I really like that clarification of there's breaking rules and there's infringing rules. Like you're doing to gain advantage, and I feel
there's intent, right?
There's definitely players in Zone. I mean, I think we have more players per comp, right? Or more teams on average. So you're going to get like a wider variety of just how people think about the game. And so like you mentioned like covering, like you're not allowed to cover your sensors in Zone. And a few people come to mind whenever you talk about it, like to a Zone player, like Taipan pops into my head, like.
And yet I never get penalized for it. Every time they referee, they watch me and I don't get penalized.
Mate, wait till this next comp. Wait till Pro. Anyway. But
sounds
like,
good. I'll be waiting for my 0 penalties again.
But yeah, like there's players that like, and it's usually like older players who don't want to like change the new rules. But it's not a large number of players. But yeah, most of the terms you hand out are either like newer players or like someone accidentally slipped up. You're like, oops. It was an oopsie. It wasn't, I'm not doing this to gain an advantage.
Yeah.
So I think the 0 point system really is a good system because like it eliminates so much. Those oopsies can become oopsies as a penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, like the outcome isn't quite as brutal as,
Yeah.
I've definitely. There was there was a specific instance in 2017 in Sacramento where I was coming across a ramp, and we were in a hunting scenario, and came across one of the ramps and into one of the sections and found the person and targeted and immediately got hit by ref with Sanch, because I still remember this penalty, and I stopped and I looked back at him and I'm like, let me guess, he backtracked this entire thing, didn't he? And Sanchez like starts nodding. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, my bad.
Let me just go the fuck away, because like I didn't see him do it, but he did it, and I got the penalty for it. So,
and that's why we're still almost 10 years on, trying to work out the best way to do it. Like, I've always been a massive proponent of like preemptive penalizing of a player, because if the difference between them taking a life off a medic and not is you zapping them before they run in and infringe, then that's more beneficial for the game as a whole. But it's so hard to do that as a ref.
I agree. It's one of those things that like it's so tricky, because at the same time, that player and that team may never get that opportunity again. Like, I'll put it into perspective without like talking teams up.
Yeah.
But our team, you're going in against a Brisbane A team in Brisbane.
Mm-hmm.
You might get 1 or 2 chances to put some serious hurt on us again.
Mm-hmm.
You miss that because a referee thinks something was off.
Yeah.
You don't get that opportunity again.
Okay, but on the flip side, if they run in and take advantage of something that they shouldn't have,
that's
and
cheating.
Your team gets killed out because of it. Then
I understand, but that's the thing, though, right? Is that's where I think like the preemptive is like
that
real
then comes
gray
down to
area.
training. So like if you can train a player to be, when they run in and they're like, and they know, because if they know that a player has backtracked or whatever, right? Set a track. If they know that, then it's on the player to really announce, I am not targeting the medic. I'm not targeting the medic, not targeting the medic, and they run in and don't target the medic. Then the ref knows, okay, well, they know that I know that they're about to infringe.
My favorite thing is when someone goes, I'm not going to target the medic. I'm not going to target the medic. Hey, look who I'm targeting. The whole way. But like the whole way I'm running behind them with my phaser directly in their back, going hee 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 hee.
Wow, that's a shitty play.
Actually, we had an incident the other night that like I should have been penalized for that. Like, this is where like weird stuff comes into it. Where I've come in, Chris has come in. And I'm like, yeah, sweet, I'm just not going to shoot Chris. Shoot medic, shoot ammo, shoot heavy. Shoot the ammo again. And then the medic has run in behind Chris. And so I've gone with them. I've pulled the trigger as they're like doing the loop. Not anywhere near Chris. Like, Chris is here. I'm aiming this way. Pull the trigger, shoot Chris.
Yeah.
Don't get penalized. I'm like, I should get penalized for that.
Yeah.
But I haven't targeted Chris at any point in time.
Well,
I just don't understand why the IR
technically
has
apparently you've got line of sight. You know,
somehow.
Yeah,
somehow the IR has said fuck you.
Yeah, because it in the rules it's targeting a player or targeting something that gives you line of sight.
Yeah,
right?
because
in this
reflex
instance you're targeting the air.
Yeah, I'm targeting.
You've reflected off the air and broke physics.
Well, no. What my thought process was is I've reflected off the medic's pack.
I mean that
is possible.
Yeah.
That is possible on Gen 8.
Yeah.
That happens.
So I just turned around and I walked out because Chris was like, "What the hell?" And everyone's blowing up, and I'm like, "It's not my fault."
So are you not allowed? Are you not allowed to target a medic? Because I feel like
you're not allowed to chase, and then so if you chase someone, you can't target that person.
Yeah.
So past the 3 meter mark, you can't target that player.
So
okay, so it's the no following rule.
Yeah. What I would suggest, because we like this isn't the forum to go into like in-depth rules discussions, but what there are a couple of channels. I think the Laserforce Playbook, LLT. I think they did like a rules discussion on their YouTube channel. If you check them out, I highly recommend, not just for UCAM and your team, but for anyone that has only played one Nats, a couple of Nats, or no Nats, go to that channel, find the section about the rules discussion, because I'm pretty sure on that channel they go into some really in-depth discussion about tracking, about shielding, just a good deep dive into the rules.
Yeah.
The other thing that's going to be real beneficial is, on the training nights, like there will be more opportunities for people to discuss the rules and stuff as well. And for you guys in Sydney, hopefully you manage to hook up with Lone Soul and Leech, because they will be able to run you through that stuff as well.
Yeah.
What was the other thing I was gonna ask you? I can't remember.
As Stevo's brain like melts out his ears.
Tell us some fun facts about your team, yo.
My team?
No, not yours. I don't care
No,
about
I was
your
gonna
team.
say, yeah,
Everyone wants to hear about me.
yeah. Who?
He's the new guy.
I also don't know what the name of our team is. So
Aren't you Beans' boyfriends?
So where was the first comp that we did Beans as boyfriends? I think it was pre-nationals. There were about a year ago-ish now. There was
bunch of twinks got together.
a bunch of twinks got it started with a bunch of twinks and an idea.
Yeah.
So there was a competition up in Queensland, 3-day comp, and then a 4-day break, then a 2-day comp down in Canberra.
Yeah.
So we
Nice.
played both comps with the same team, and we called ourselves Beans as boyfriends.
Yeah.
Because it was funny.
Because they're
I
a bunch of
guess.
twinks.
We were a bunch of twinks, and they're all my boyfriends.
It's fine.
And then
Yeah.
it just stuck around, and then we went. Owen and I have played almost every competition for the last Dart and I have played every competition together for the last almost 3 years, basically. And so we went to register for the next comp, and we're like, oh, like, what are we going to name ourselves? And Dart was like, we should go as Beans as boyfriends. I'm like, that's so egocentric. I don't want to do that. It's like, no, we're Beans as boyfriends. It's funny. And then we went as Beans as boyfriends to the Perth comp.
Yeah.
And then we went to Beans as boy. So it's stuck, and I can't get rid of it. Now there's a Canberra comp coming up at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Dad and I are not playing together, but he's named his team Beans as boyfriends. So, like,
You should just go with like box fresh Twinkies or something like that.
wait till you see our team.
Unpackaged Twinkies.
Oh, cream-filled twinks. I'm talking about the food, guys. I don't know what you're
What else
laughing
are we
about.
talking about?
It's called a Twinkie, not a Twinkie.
I
As
use
a-
slang. I abbreviated it.
Oh,
you
you're a
twink.
disaster.
As an overweight gentleman, I know exactly what you're referring to.
As a gay overweight gentleman, I don't know
yeah,
what you're referring
yeah. It's more complex for you.
So, oh my
And on
God.
that note, kids.
One thing I did want to quickly shout out, and Than, if you could post the link for me. But if for those who aren't aware, there is a Discord server for the Laserforce tournament scene.
What did you save that as?
Oh, I haven't yet.
Oh,
I was
okay.
hoping you just give me a link.
Okay,
Or two, somebody.
I can do that.
Oh,
I
thank you.
thought you might have actually done
No, not yet. No, I haven't done that yet.
some producer work and
Nah.
actually.
LFstats.com.
Well, so the LF tournaments. Use the new link you sent me or sent Dan.
I got it.
Thank you. That's the Laserforce tournament's official Discord channel. So in that channel, for those who don't know, we're trying to unify the Laserforce scene globally, and by we I mean just not me, the powers that be. We're just the mouthpiece. But we have in there various Discord channels. Click the link, follow the guides to how you actually unlock the channel. And I'm talking to you specifically, Taipan, because I don't
I'm
believe you
in
don't.
there. It's your fault.
Oh, I can see that you are in the armory, but did you do the welcome and the roll call thing?
No, where the
Yeah,
fuck's
there you go.
that?
So follow the
Nah,
instructions.
so he didn't follow the
Yeah,
instructions.
yeah.
What's the instructions? I don't want to do the instructions.
You
Just
have
tell
to.
me what fucking button to press.
So you go to the welcome
Go
channel.
into the fucking
follow
welcome
the
and roll call,
instruction.
you asshole.
Oh,
That's
dude.
the instructions.
I've been dealing with this.
It's too hard.
Follow the instructions. It'll unlock the rest of the channel for you. You gotta follow the instructions.
What do I do?
Follow the read the thing. This is a thing for after. Just read the thing. Read the
No one
thing.
to
This
type in-
is your new home
Not here.
for all
No,
come on,
things
mute him.
laser.
Can we mute him? Yeah. No
Um,
wonder he breaks so many rules. He doesn't know how to read.
You've got to follow the instructions. Go through the
Doesn't
instructions.
matter had sex. that's
You
all.
need to you need to react to the posts the way that the thing says to react to the posts. There's another section called roll call that'll open up. Follow the instructions there. Just
This
read
is
the
so
instructions.
fucking difficult.
It's
Why
not.
has everyone
It's
made
not.
this so hard?
It's not. Have you ever
Really not.
microwave popcorn before? Follow the instructions. Otherwise, you burn that shit. Fucking hell. But yeah, it's where we're trying to get a more youthful audience to come and like hang out and continue this tradition of playing.
I'm
competitive
fucking
Laser
old.
Force.
Why am I
know.
doing it?
I chose my words very carefully.
A few days ago, we were
Bunch
talking
of
to Taipan.
cunts.
There's like teams in Zone that have been playing for a very long time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
there's like a
obviously.
Victorian team. They're very chill, but they're very old. And we joke about that they're old.
Yeah.
And we're talking to Taipan in like our nationals team chat. He's in there because he's our coach. He's like our only point of contact with this entire scene. So
Yeah.
Taipan.
I'm
Anyway.
trying to bridge the gap.
Yeah. And so we're like, hey, like, are you the like this team's equivalent of Laserforce?
Right.
And he goes, no, we're like the youngest team. I'm like, damn, it just must be a bunch of really old people playing then. Like, if you're the youngest, we're screwed. We're gonna we drop the median age by 20
by
years.
a significant amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about right, actually.
Ooh, I did it!
You did it perfect. Just follow the instructions. Then you go
Well
to the roll
done,
call
Taipan.
and
Well
follow those
done.
instructions, and the whole
Where's
world,
the roll call?
the whole world will open up to you. The whole Laser Force world.
It's crazy what happens
Why
when
am I
you
a
read the rules.
strawberry? I want to be a banana.
You know what we
heard
should
that.
do, and I've just thought of this too. Maybe we record an instructional video and we put it on YouTube.
You shouldn't, because it's not that hard. Because I figured it out in 2 seconds.
Oh wait, I have to press the buttons of all the things I want to be.
Yes,
God.
yes,
Yes.
Follow
See,
the instructions.
It's like watching like a monkey figure out the like shape toy. It's like
Yeah.
the square goes in the square hole. The circle. Oh, I get it
That's
now.
right,
Yes, I
exactly.
can.
And the amount of people who be like, I don't know. Let's like, did you read?
It's too hard. I
No.
give up. Yeah.
I clicked the link and it didn't work. All right, buddy. Okay. Look, we'll I hope that that this tournament ends up being a not only a learning experience, because that kind of goes without saying, but like a world, a new window opens up for you guys.
Yeah.
Because Space Marines, we in the past we've talked about the difference between Zone and Space Marines specifically, and
Yeah.
we've always kind of compared Space Marines as the chess versus all other forms, not just Zone, but all other forms of tag is checkers, including other game types in Force.
Yeah.
Just because it's complicated, you know.
Yeah.
On that note, we won't keep you guys too much longer. But have you guys got kind of a sense of the different roles and stuff? Like, have you kind of gone through all that stuff?
Yeah. So we did talk about this. Owen and I read the rule book. So
Right.
in
And that includes the
on
the position.
the
Yeah. Okay.
positions and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And in Zone, our team at least, we use this numbering position, and it's basically your proximity to the base. So your
Right.
5 is like under the base, your most protected player, and we're like,
This is why New South Wales doesn't fucking win anything.
whatever. It's everyone says this is
You
a dumb
don't
system.
even
You
win
don't have
your
to
own
use it.
state comp.
All
Yeah,
right. All right.
yeah,
But
no.
you guys use this
We-
numbering system.
and a few other teams.
Okay.
But yeah. So
No.
your 5 is under the base. They're the most protected. Then your 4 is like your
You hurt
sort
my
of
like
head.
circle one.
Uh,
kinda.
you hurt my eyes to look at.
He's gone.
Then so you have your 4. They're like at the base but outside.
Yeah.
And then you have your 3, who's like your midfield. Then your 1 and 2, who are out, like they're out.
Yeah, attacking their 5s
And-
and 4s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Owen and I are reading this rule book. We're like, oh, well, medic's 5. You want to keep him protected. And then we went, your heavy weapons. Well, that's your 4. You want your heavy weapons to protect your medic.
Right.
And then your ammo's 3 because you want to give and we just got it completely wrong apparently.
It is an
This is
interesting.
like Spider trying to reinvent the fucking wheel and using a fucking hexagon as a shape.
Look, this
It's
is
just-
it's an interesting way of looking at it, because
Yeah.
you're not way off. Like,
Mm.
you know, in that parlance, the medic is kind of your 5. Like, that's your back player. You want to protect them at all costs.
Yeah.
You could kind of make cases for both the heavy and the ammo to play that kind of 4 role.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess the difference is they're not necessarily
Locked down to that
Yeah,
position.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not their only task. Like, there's kind
Yeah.
of nuance, right?
It's why the number system is so good, because you can, like, you're a 4 and a 3. Like
You've
you
got
can
shades of
swap.
3.
Yeah, you shades of 3. You're a 4, but you can think 3 sometimes. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, like
But it's interesting because at times the heavy is required to be the one.
So
Like,
stupid.
yeah. So Taipan's having a fit over
He's
this.
a
I've
It's
got
struggle.
great.
fucking
Really
brain
is.
cells. Okay, there's been a few things in my life that are proper cunted. This is proper cunted.
you know what I noticed recently is
That word's
is-
starting to become a thing.
no, not at all.
It's
But-
been a thing.
But so some of us old school Laserforce or Space Marines players, there is a new player base coming through that has a different cerebral approach to the game, and I kind of put this in that category where they thought about the breakdown of the roles in a way that I never personally ever thought about it, and it's kind of in that vein.
Steve, you know vegetative state?
Yes, yeah, that's
This
me in
is
the
kind of
afternoons, yeah.
this is kind of along those lines. Like there's a couple of little
I
electrons
don't
going on in
I
there.
don't agree. It's just a different. It's a different way of approaching the game. Like,
Yeah.
and we saw it. And you know, I'm gonna make
As
a
your
comment
coach,
here.
we're not using that.
In 2023, I saw this approach beat out the Brisbane 18 to win a nationals.
And
A
you'll see it again
more
this year. You'll see it again this year.
You
a
mean
more
the medic
cerebral-
hiding in behind the
No, just a-
ammo
just a
to get
different-
fucking shots
just a
off?
different approach to the game. Like it's the way that I see some of these younger, mostly from the American scenes, these younger players approach Space Marines. They've done it in a way that I think is different and at times more intelligent than how we as older players have kind of approached the game. And maybe that's just my bias because I've never really been a smart player. Like everything for me was more based on instinct rather than knowledge.
Yeah.
I think, like, I don't think how you read the arena and then necessarily resupply things and do things like that reinvents the wheel. It just changes the location of the wheel. They
Puts
still
it on the
play
back.
exactly the same way.
Yeah.
I-
But
I-
it
In
sounds
saying
like
that, like
thi-
what they did was they played super well structurally defensively, and then Caleb was able to run off and shoot shit. Like defensively, they were super well structured, but I wouldn't say that's reinventing this wheel, like the wheel of what
It's
SM5
perspective, right?
is.
Like it's
yeah.
how we, yeah. So this is your
Um,
perspective,
Yeah, because to me,
which is wrong.
look, it's not
No,
wrong.
I'm kidding.
Because finding new resupply points was always what I used to do in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Like there was always the 4 spots. You'd have under obs, you'd have build, you'd have back tower, and then you'd have like new tower, which was blue tower, which was obs deck. Like
Yeah.
you always had the same 4 positions.
Yeah.
When I came in, green airlock became a resupply point.
Mm-hmm.
When I came in, new cell became a resupply point.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came in, like new tower rush became a thing. Back
So
tower
what you're
rush became
saying
a thing.
is, with a fresh player base,
You
the game
get
was looked at a different perspective.
you get a different perspective on
Oh,
it, but you
that's
don't.
interesting.
Where have I
don't
heard that before?
reinvent
I
the wheel.
swear. That's
Your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shit is reinventing the wheel, and it's dumb.
I'm not saying it's the correct way to play.
It's
but
dumb.
This
We're
is your
not
perspective,
using it.
right? This is your
Okay.
this is your
Or you can
fresh.
fire me.
But it's so we were talking about roles,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
anyway, that was a conversation that was
Yeah.
had. I don't want to say numbers now because Taipan's gonna flip his shit.
Ignore him.
Yeah, I often do. I
I'm with
often do.
yeah. I'm with you. I like, and it's not
Just mute me, Steve.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
please.
this
I'll
close.
just make funny. I'll just make funny.
Yeah.
So in zone, there's a lot of different play styles as well.
Yeah.
And some of our players they play one position and try to excel in it. So wildcard was our last line on our nationals team.
Right.
So that's our 5. So he's our under the base. He's our last line of defense. Then your 4 is giving him comms so he can react. And this is where wildcard pipes and goes me 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 me. And then so Finn, who's on our team,
Yeah.
he's a little twink. He's speedy. So he just runs around like a ballistic
Right.
missile. He's at
Good
two
stuff,
ends of the arena at once because he.
Right.
So when we were
That's
talking about
Leech.
roles,
Yeah.
type in Gaza and Wildcard, who all have SM5 experience. We're like, Finn, your scout.
Yeah.
And Finn's like, well, how do I play that? And we're like, do not change your gameplay or your style
Yep.
at all. Just do exactly what you've been doing for the last 5 years,
Yeah.
and you will excel. He's like, all right, sweet.
It's kind of the closest to just pure laser tag that you get in a Space Marines game.
Yeah.
Is that scout role.
Yeah.
Because, there isn't really one that is, pure laser tag, because there are,
Yeah.
these different
There's
components and stuff,
interest-
but that's the closest one in my opinion.
Yeah.
Do you guys
What-
have... Sorry, go ahead then.
I was gonna say it was funny being you mentioning like the initial thought of, oh, we're gonna have our medic and ammo like basically split up and in two different locations.
Yeah.
Because what, like when we originally started playing SM5 back in Sacramento,
Yeah.
many years ago,
One Coolbeans lifetime ago.
more than one
More than that.
Coolbeans lifetime.
One and a half.
1.5 Coolbeans
Yeah.
lifetimes.
Yeah, pretty much. Like the first league of Space Marines 5 that we did, like that was a thing where like the medic would go with the heavy and one scout, and the ammo would go with the other scout and commander, because we didn't know that you could double resupply.
Yeah.
Like we had no fucking clue that was a thing.
Yeah.
And it was actually discovered like by mistake.
Is this as a
just like
scene?
coincidence.
You didn't know about a double
As a
resupply?
side.
No.
Just your
Sacramento, we
Okay,
didn't,
yeah,
because at the time that we first started playing we started trying to play SM5, we had no connection with the Australia
Outside
scene.
world.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you had to send it by post on ship.
Yeah, so we
go that
literally
far.
just had like we just had the game document, and we didn't, and like it didn't click that you could, two people could resupply the same person at the same time. And our missing host DK, his team figured it out, I think by mistake, and I'm really sorry he's not on here, and he's going to listen to this and he's going to correct me like at some point this week, like, no, we found it out because of this. But they figured out before anybody else the first league season we did it, and so their team won that season with a admittedly much weaker team than some of the other teams that were out there, just based on pure like skill, because they were spending half the amount of time resupplying as everybody else, because they figured out that they could get both things at once.
Yeah.
A
lot of our team's knowledge, like that isn't coming from Taipan, is Wildcard and his previous SM5 experience going, I think we can do this, but I don't remember. Let's try it and see. And then we have a few other players at our sort of league that have very loose experience. So like they're going, okay, I'll be the medic because like I remember sort of what to do. But that knowledge is sort of, oh, I just TK'd my team the whole game because I didn't know you could not heal them while they're dead. So it's we need some coaching. We have players with a sort of general, I think we can do this.
Yeah.
But so it's a starting point.
That's
The
partially why.
problem for you guys is that like the player with the most SM5 experience who kind of knows how to play, and when I say kind of knows how to play, he should know how to play. If he doesn't, there's something wrong. Is Gaza, who's the WA player.
So we would go and we played our few Space Marine games, and then we messaged in our team chat, guys, we remembered how to do this. This is so good. And Gaz was like, yeah, that gets told in the briefing video. I'm like, oops.
Well,
we know how to do it.
This is partially why I brought up the Discord server. So I highly advise you guys all join it.
I think we're all in there already.
Oh, perfect.
I was like one of the first people in, and I'm like, guys, get in.
Well, this is so the benefit from being in there is that you can ask the questions, and honestly, I think the majority of the Force scene wants to see you guys do better than expected.
Yeah, we want to do better than expected as well. So it's a win-win.
We were saying last week we want you guys to win games, just not against our teams.
What I'll say, Steve, is that like this team, for what it is one of the more skilled teams that is going to be there.
Yeah, you guys play laser tag well, right? Yeah. You've got fundamental skills.
Yeah, Gazza's got double digits of years of experience and on Laserforce. Finn's been playing for like 5-6 years. I've been playing for 4 years. Darts getting up to 7.
Yeah.
Like we've got we've got some experience under our belts. We're keen to adapt. We're keen to learn a new format. We're interested. For a long time, we would joke about Laser Force. Like, we never really understood the rules. And this is before we were playing Laser Ball. I'm pushing 7 years, Unk. Yeah, you are. But we like without playing resets, we didn't understand it, and so like it's like the rules as well. Oh, I have to have line of sight of what I'm shooting at because there's lots of you're not meant to, but there's lots of like sort of blind firing in zone. You'll get your 4. That's what they call it, Taipan. And as your 5, your last line, you can just pop a shot out. Like you're watching this way and you get a ding. You're like, sweet. Like, because my door defender's comms were really good. So I know exactly when to shoot out.
Yeah. Things like the transition, right? Like there's
yeah.
Things.
But yeah, after like playing more and more competitive Laser Force games, we sort of get the rules now.
Yeah.
We make fun of them like, okay, yeah, like I guess
I guess
that
stupid.
makes sense.
Shoulder.
Yeah. So yeah, we're keen to learn the format and get good and try and do as well as we can. Let's like
so that would be like the utilize the chat, like the voice chats in the Discord for that kind of stuff, because I know like there are a lot of people, myself included, who are happy to give advice, and not everyone gives good advice, again, myself included, but, but at least like talking through some of the stuff and talking through scenarios will help kind of bridge those gaps as well. Obviously Taipan is probably your biggest resource.
Absolutely.
And you know,
he's okay, I guess.
I mean, we've settled for him.
I'm old and washed.
We wish we had a better coach, but it's just what was available. So
but you know, there's also the Sydney-based.
I'm Larry Bird.
The Sydney-based guys on my team that are there as resources as well. That they've been playing a long time, can give you those kind of basic things. You get what you pay for. But there are people in the, and even people who aren't attending Nats will be able to you know sit there. And go, hey, this is kind of how we play. This is the basic things that we learn. This is how these rules kind of work. That's probably the biggest thing, actually. If you can get amongst like some classroom sessions or something in the Discord.
Just don't listen to the Americans.
Hey, fuck off. You can fuck right the fuck off, Taipan.
That stuff is all there, and again, not just for you guys, but for some of those players who haven't been on the scene for as long, haven't played tournaments before, or only played 1 or 2 tournaments before. These are all things that you can do to make your Nats experience this year a more enjoyable one. Because
either that or just go get drunk the whole time.
I think you could do that either. Anyway.
Well, that's for like the caravan park after.
That's right. Are you guys? That's a point. Are you guys staying at the caravan park?
I did tell them about it the other day.
So we were looking at accommodation. We usually get an Airbnb,
right?
Because
it's usually cheaper.
Well, yeah, usually. Like we could go to like a motel that is really cheap. But the way Dad and I see it,
you don't want to get AIDS, and
you don't want to get AIDS from the bed.
Stabbied.
Like we go away for fun, so we try and like book nice accommodations because like comfy beds and stuff. And so we're sitting at dinner. We're like, all right, they're the same price. This house looks really nice. It's like 5 minutes away from site. But all the Laser Force guys are staying here, so
honestly, like. I talk about this every year. For me, the best part about Nats is staying at the place where everyone else is staying. Like, even when we hosted here in Auckland, I booked a room at the hotel everyone else was staying at because I was like, I don't want to miss out. Like, I don't want it to be like, oh, it's 10:30, I better go home.
The best part about this is that they actually have a retirement home at their accommodation now. So all the old people are going to be in the same room.
That's great.
Just stand and DK.
If there's an opportunity for you guys to die and you want to, I mean, there'll be plenty of hangouts anyway, so it's not like you would miss out.
You'll miss out completely. Yeah.
But honestly, staying at the oh my god, it's so good. That holiday park as well is pretty good.
Yeah, Dad and I go to every competition, at least in zone, that we can, and we hate home site competitions because half of the fun is going back to the accom with your buddies.
Yeah.
And so for a home site comp, you drive home.
You miss it.
And you're like, well, now I'm at home. Like I was just with my friends 20
Yeah.
minutes ago.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Whereas you go to Queensland and you stay up till 5 a.m. drinking. You're like, that's my buddies.
Yeah, you
And
stay
then-
out till 11 p.m. drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still
Yeah.
drinking
Same,
at
same.
9:30 in the morning. Next,
Yeah.
playing the next game.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I wish
Mistakes
we
were
went to
made,
bed 5 hours earlier.
Oh,
I'm
man,
probably not allowed to say this on stream, but I'm
but you're
going
going
to
to.
anyway.
I've got my finger hovering
2014,
over the
I
cut
don't
stream
think
button.
I was sober for any of the games. that were
2014?
played.
Brisbane.
Yeah,
I'd say
Is
I'm
that-
shocked by that, but I wasn't there, so.
because Colin,
I do remember you looking particularly homeless that year.
I look particularly homeless now.
Yeah, but it was you look like, but you were still sharp here.
Yeah,
You're still sharp here now, but back then, you know when the glaze happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that was because Colin kept bringing like 4 cartons of beer in the back of the cart with like 2 eskies.
Yeah, I can't do it anymore like that, like I used to. But like, yeah, for me, like you're exactly right. If it's usually if it's a home competition, like you kind of miss out on the fun
Yeah.
other stuff. So, and that's why I'm always, even for people who are local, I'm like, if you can afford it, come and stay with everyone else, because you know there's
Yeah.
board games and drinking and like jokes and like inside jokes and all that
It's-
stuff.
It's a very social
It's
sport.
the best, man.
So yeah, like
Yeah.
I think they've got a pool as well. You know,
Okay.
it's gonna be winter.
it's winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
It's not
Oh,
winter
okay,
for
okay,
you
okay.
guys.
Okay, first off,
Queensland
Yeah,
winter.
Queensland winter is not really winter, and
Yeah.
and I wish more people would understand that. Like
Yeah.
Queensland winter is not winter as compared
except
to
for this last week, right? This
We
last
had a
week was-
cold snap.
Yeah.
We got down
Define-
to like 8 degrees
Yeah.
centigrade.
8 degrees. I was just in Canberra for a week and it was hovering around -1 for most of the time.
Yeah.
And then I
welcome
come back to
Queensland.
Sydney and we're getting highs of 10 degrees. What?
Look, 8 degrees is still cold. It's too cold to swim.
What's the weather here at the moment?
15, that's another story.
There you go.
Look,
We're 18 degrees. You can't even see
See?
it. Stupid
Yeah.
phone.
Bullshit.
We're hovering around 16.
Tell me I was scraping frost over windows in Queensland. Exactly. It's cold's cold. but like one year we went to Wet and Wild like the weekend before the tournament, and it was myself, my younger brother, and 2 of the Melbourne players, and none of us bought swim gear, togs as we
course not.
call it. So we all bought matching Hawaiian shorts and towels. And then we went to Wet and Wild, and we were the only people there except for the staff, and they were like, "Oh, are you guys on a stag do or something?" Like, nah, we just shop at the same place. But yeah, you can't kind of get away with that shit like here. It's too cold.
I would have paid to have seen Hoodie in a Hawaiian G-string.
A Hawaiian G string.
Yeah.
I can't
Somehow
make
I
that
think
happen,
you
but-
somehow I think you could probably pay a hoodie, and he would get into a Hawaiian
I don't think
G-string.
I'd need to pay a cent.
You know he's coming this
Correct.
year, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. They're not
He's just
playing.
playing.
They're
I
not
know. I'm
playing.
so
It's-
disappointed.
Oh, same dude. I tried it. I was like, what if you come early and you come play for Auckland?
If Brent would consider putting a 9th team in there, I will go play for them.
Well, I mean, they don't want to play. That's the thing. They're coming. They want to
Yeah,
play disc
but-
golf.
Al wants me to. I'll win my nats. So
Cam, do you play disc golf?
Me?
Yeah.
I do not, but if it's on, I will.
So
Yeah.
we're running a disc golf tournament the weekend after. Well, the Saturday it starts.
Yeah.
So if people want to come have a throw, you're more than welcome to come and hang out.
I've got a mentality of just sign me up for anything and I'll do it. Like I'm keen. I'm so down for anything. So
Da-
he's
you
kind of
dabbled
like
in
the new
Ultimate?
you.
Speak to
He's
G&D.
kind of like the new you.
Don't pass the buck, Troy. You're TD. Troy's the tournament director. But seriously, we've got some discs that we're bringing along. There's prizes. That tournament's being sponsored. Thank you, Troy. Shout out.
oh, right.
So if you guys want to get amongst, it's Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But there's a lot of people who are probably only going to play the Saturday.
Yeah.
It'll be fun
Prob-
anyway.
Probably us as well.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna head back to Sydney.
I was
But,
going to say, how long you guys up for?
We are not an organized team, so we don't know.
Wow.
I blame you,
that's-
coach.
Yeah. Yeah. Coach, we need a schedule. We need a training routine. Come on. What are you doing? We're a
Okay,
mess.
so what we're doing is we're going for good food and wine on Friday.
Yes,
Then we're going
yeah.
for better food and better wine on Saturday.
Taipan, has the awards dinner been
Yes,
confirmed?
it's sorted. Yep.
Do you want to announce it yet, or do you want to wait?
It's at Libertine Restaurant and Cocktail Bar.
Ooh. Now we have to be out by 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's fine. It's all sorted.
Because we've gone to a show.
all good,
There's
sorted.
a rock show we're going to on the Friday night. Oh,
Oh no!
Cam's gone. You still with us,
Coolbeans
Cam?
is dead. No, he's dead.
He's gone.
Oh no!
Bye, Coolbeans.
Something died. That's all right. When he comes back, yeah, rage quit. I'm only going for QPL. That's your team name, right? Oh no, that's the
zone
zone thing.
call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
So
we?
yeah, now that the spaz is gone, can we talk about some real laser tag or like...
We might have to have you on a different time for it.
Yeah, I know. I need to go get a MacBook from the city. I did the worst thing in history, which is buying an Apple computer.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because all of my other stuff at work is on Apple, so it makes life easy.
Ew.
Okay.
Don't ill me.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but still.
It's not my fault.
It is your
bear with
fault.
me, I'll just...
Everything is your fault.
Oh, is he back? He's back. I think he had... Why can't I... Hey, can you guys hear me? I can't hear either of you. That's so weird. Check, check, check. You can hear me. Can you guys hear everyone? And you can't hear everyone else. Whoa, the wheels have fallen off today. That's real buzzy. Hang on, what if I do this? That doesn't work. What about now? Dan, can I hear you?
Hello. What's
about
that?
now?
Be able to hear me again.
What? Come on. Technical issues. It wouldn't be a show without technical issues. That's
This is buzzy because I can't hear. I can't hear the guys, but I'm pretty sure chat can now hear you guys.
Hooray.
I can hear everyone.
okay. Beans can hear everybody. Okay.
What the fuck are
Dan,
those
just
slippers?
keep
Show me the
talking. Be
slippers.
The
entertaining.
slippers? They're little monster feet slippers.
Put your foot above your head. Oh, that's adorable.
You're not getting those for free. This is probably the easier way I could have shown. They're little slippers. Like, they're...
That's cool.
Anyway.
All right.
Buy
That's
them
cool.
at Costco for $5.
I think they
I
were
have a
from
Costco
Kmart.
membership. I could do that.
They're
Alright.
so comfy. They're so warm.
I mean, they look comfy and warm. And Steve-O is still trying to figure
Yeah.
out
Marco.
what.
Are we all having technical difficulties?
No,
Marco.
Is it just
Steve-O
me?
is having technical issues, which means therefore we're having technical issues. Like that's
I think
that's how this is going.
I think I got it now.
I
That
did
was
a thing.
that was buzzy.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So
that's
Coolbeans,
so
where do you
crazy.
predict you guys finishing?
How many teams are there?
8.
Okay. See, I have no concept of skill, like level for the other teams. And it's the
Obviously.
first time we're playing. We have a little bit of experience.
West Coast America is going to suck because fans on it.
Okay.
Look,
I'm
he's too old. He won't even get down below like the half heights anymore.
I'm
I
gonna
I wish I
predict
could argue
us
with that, but you
in
know, my
seventh.
knees and back might actually make that true. So you know,
That
we'll see.
way, if we do bad, it's only one below predictions. If we do 7th, we're meeting predictions. If we get 6th, we're smashing predictions.
Look, you can always just blame the coach.
True.
That's what we do. I think I fixed the problem. Maybe someone in chat, maybe too. Let me know if there's any like double up of sound coming through, please. Hopefully there's not. I think I've fixed it, but wow,
I
that
don't
was...
even care. I'm here for beans.
yeah,
Aw.
I don't even... So it sounds good. All right.
Sweet ass.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Like, you guys are such a wild card because, like, like
Could
you said
do real good.
before, you've got good raw talent. You know how to play laser tag. So the gap isn't as, you know, it's not as vast as it otherwise would have
Yeah.
been.
Steve,
Yeah.
who is on the Loveland team?
Hang
People.
on, where's that team list? I can tell you.
Strikva, Azra, and those Strikva's going by something else now. Strikva, Azra, Lizzie
Strikva,
Lizard,
yeah.
the Babe,
Sabo,
and I can't remember the last two.
Sabo and Redneck Tech.
Okay.
Is that the team that you guys have like? Obviously, you got no idea what this 8th team is going to be like. Is that the team that you're putting down there with them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Where are they from?
Loveland, Colorado.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're the only like site specific team coming from the States. Everywhere else is, you know, there's like a West Coast team, an East Coast team, and then we have 3 local teams.
Yeah.
And then our team
Auckland.
from Auckland.
Okay.
Because who is? I've been getting the American team so confused. Who's on
That's
West
okay.
Coast? You've got DK yourself,
Okay.
Desire.
Yeah, and then Calkins, who's Simply Okay. That's his code name, is Simply Okay. He's not just Simply Okay.
Hey, simply awful, but
I mean, that is also accurate sometimes. Sergeant Tucker, and then our 6 is actually El Diablo from Germany.
yeah, that's a wild card team as well.
Yeah, it's a team that, like, if everything gels in correctly and does what it's supposed to, then you know, it could push decently pretty high, I think. But if the wheels fall off, you know, it's a mid-table team. But I would like, when we were doing our show last week and kind of like, you know, breaking the teams into tiers and just kind of figuring out like where we think, you know, everything's gonna line up. Like, really, there's kind of this middle 4 group that it like on paper, like those games look like they should all be really, really even and really, really good. So, you know, that's actually pretty exciting that when, you know, when doing that type of break, and we're able to kind of look at like, okay, yeah, like the Brisbane A team, you know, as much as, you know, we would like to say, yes, we would love to challenge that team, and obviously we're going to do everything we can to challenge that team. Like, there's just a reality where the Brisbane A team is a step above. And
have you told them what we're playing?
No, because I still don't believe you.
Me and Brent are playing Resupply, and I'm not joking with you.
Okay.
You guys are you're gonna get in there. You're gonna have like developed everything, going, oh yeah, Taipan's gonna be commander and Brent's gonna be heavy, or the other way around, and literally gonna walk in there and we're gonna be a
Resupply. You
Resupply.
think about them a lot.
It's true though. Fans just proved it.
We have, you know, we've got obviously expectations, and like I actually had this conversation with the US West Coast team. As I kind of broke into your team discussion a little bit.
A little bit.
But yeah, like, you know, because I've got a pretty good idea of what I think they're gonna play, and I've got a bet that I've made with Tucker about what I think the bulk of their games will look like.
Yeah, Josiah's going to play commander.
So you know, like, and if something else happens, and I bring this up to talk about your team type, and if something out of the ordinary happens, you've kind of prepared for the worst case scenario, I think, or in this instance, the best case scenario from your team's perspective, or we think your team will be at its strongest. And if it's different to that, it doesn't matter. like, if you and Rusty play Resupply, then cool, so be it. Like, it's not like other teams will have to wildly adjust their game plan, because I think
No, I think it's
you generally
especially
play
in
what's in
Brisbane.
front of you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will actually say that I know that you've kind of broken this up into tiers. I would make a bold prediction here that I actually think this zone team has the possibility to push up closer to 4th than they could be to 8th.
Potentially.
Don't hype us up too much.
I'm not
we
hyping
want
you
to
up.
we need to be told, they're zone players, they're going to get 8th.
Yeah.
So when we do well, it's crazy. It's a crazy climb.
Well, so to put it this way, I think you probably have the most people pulling for you guys. Like, I know personally, I'm like, I kind of want them to do awesome.
Yeah.
Because,
but not at the expense of you or
I
me.
don't want you to be my team, but
Yeah.
beat Dan's team, cool. Beat Taipan's team, perfect.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Taipan's team is very easy to beat. So.
Yeah, well, they've got their 2 best players playing Resupply, so
yeah. Well, I'm playing ammo apparently. That's sort of our loose role, but
yeah.
So Australia
Australia
putting their best players in Resupply.
Yeah, we're doing the same.
Nice.
It's true. Steve's playing ammo too.
I think I might be. I think I'm playing medic.
I'll meet you in the helm.
Yeah, cool. I can't wait to see more of you.
I do think we're going to try to switch things up at least early comp just to see what we're train. We've got train. So yeah.
I really want to teach them to call the cock and balls.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And the shaft.
We love making silly comps. So if there's just one called cock and balls, we are all over that.
Yeah,
we're all over the shaft.
Yeah.
We're up and down that.
You've got to work it to really get it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's so satisfying when you get it right. Yeah.
Do we call Blue Tower splooge?
We don't.
No, I think my genuine prediction for you guys at this point, Beans, is that early tournament is going to be rough because like that's going to be the obviously the figuring stuff out and actually figuring out what your best lineup is and getting used to getting used to the arena is going to be kind of the big thing for everybody. Like that's the Brisbane arena is such a quirky maze for teams that are not Brisbane to learn. But I feel like kind of once we actually get to the actual elimination ladder, like I feel like at that point you'll have a pretty good opportunity to surprise teams.
Yeah.
Whether or not you actually do at that point will obviously be up for debate because it'll just depend on how the week has gone. But I mean,
it depends how we're playing.
Yeah. I do think it's a disservice to any team, for any other team, to just look past teams, because there's even a team that you might think, oh, we outclassed them on talent by so much. Okay. And then weird shit happens and they beat you.
Yeah. Then Andrew dies.
or
then
dies.
or then Rusty dies out to a 3-chain.
Yeah.
That's
the beauty of Space Marines. What I was going to say is, I think the reason people are pulling for you guys specifically, or at least in my instance, that one was for you too specifically. The reason I think I want you to do well was because the better you guys do, the better it is for like
the competition,
the unification of our sports, right?
Yeah,
like you might
laser tag as a whole.
Yeah. You might see more crossover.
Yeah, we are unfortunately losing our Sydney Laserforce site because they're upgrading to Zone.
Oh,
so yeah,
say upgrading.
It's the correct term actually. We like.
Are they getting Pro or 2?
3.
So 2+.
Well, yeah, basically.
It's a real shame.
Yeah, No, we've played Gen 8. We much prefer Gen 7,
Yeah.
actually.
Well, is it because the phases are lighter?
Yeah, it just feels better.
Yeah.
It plays closer to what we're comfortable with, like how I did the Nexus comparison earlier. It feels like a weird
makes sense.
Nexus. So,
Right.
That makes
whereas
sense.
Gen 8, it's not that it's too far away. It's just it feels worse
different.
compared to Gen 7,
It
not
feels
worse
clunky.
compared. Yeah. So I'm gonna love a whole week on it, but
Yeah.
So when
what
they
were we talking about before?
when they launched
I've
Gen
completely lost
8,
my train of thought.
I love that they can't hear each other and they're
Oh,
talking.
can you
Oh.
guys not
Oh
hear each other?
no, I can't hear Finn.
Did you not
Oh.
see the Facebook message?
No, I didn't. Wow, that's
I-
bizarre.
I have the stream open and I'm unmuting it when he's talking.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. For some
Sorry.
I
reason,
can hear him.
when you
I
cut
can
out,
hear him.
it
So
shit.
it killed all the audio for the video chat. Like I couldn't
Yeah,
hear any
weird.
of it, obviously.
Do you want me to leave and join back?
Not at all. Don't do that. It'll make things worse.
Okay.
Wow, that's out there. I can't even remember what Tham was saying. What were you?
I was gonna say that what I do remember like the first time we all played on Gen 8 in 2018 because that was the launch tournament
Yeah, it
for
was.
it, and I remember all of us getting there and like kind of knowing like finding out we're gonna be playing on Gen 8 like not that much before we were getting there, and then getting there and I remember like seeing the packs for the first time and going, what the fuck? Because they were such a departure from Gen 7.
What it was, yeah.
And
And
then
Gen 6 and Gen 5 were not dissimilar to what
Well-
Gen 7 was.
yeah, Gen 5, Gen 6, Gen 7 were very much incremental steps. And even Gen 3 to Gen 4 to Gen 5 were relatively incremental steps. I mean, the shoulders the shoulders changed, the guns changed, this, that, the other, but it was still relatively incremental. The step from 7 to 8 is
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous. But I do remember after about
It's a
like
crazy departure.
and after like the first day of using 8 going,
Oh, sorry.
oh, I like these so much more because they were more accurate and this, that, and the other, and the life on them was so much better.
Yeah.
But
I love the Gen 8 stuff. I love the way I love the heavier phaser. I love because for me anyway, my playstyle doesn't. I have very limited phaser movement. Like I'm a big proponent of the triangle formation, which is you hold your phaser here and your arms are kind of like there, so you form the triangle. Because that's the cleanest way to play. To play the shielding rule is to have that kind of, because if you here and you never deviate from this, as soon as you move your gun like this, then that starts, you start getting issues with that. But so I mean, like Gen 8 just felt more robust. It was just the rubber grips. Everything was for me nicer. So
I like the phaser slightly better, but I don't like the pack better.
I love everything. I love it all. It's yeah. I don't know. I very much love the new equipment.
I think we like Gen 7 because it is smaller. At least it feels smaller. So you can manhandle that phaser just more. And I mean, obviously in zone, you don't have the line of sight roll. So you can just throw it around. So being really fluid with your phaser is great. You want it to almost like, I drop my phaser a fair bit because I play too fluid. And so the rubber was sort of inhibiting that.
Right.
But I guess if you need to keep your phaser locked in one spot so you don't break the rules, that rubber helps.
And that style of play, as someone who's been around for a while, anytime I see people deviate from holding their phaser like that, that's when like they start playing not clean. And for this became a point of contention in 23 when we hosted here in Auckland, because I've kind of always said like the American style of play, they a lot of the time will deviate from this triangle, and to me a lot of those times I see them, their phaser will shift up to here and start blocking their shoulders. So All the Americans are cheaters.
Hey, fuck off.
But
Especially fans.
especially
Obviously.
but I don't know. That's just a thing, a way that I feel about it, and maybe some other Kiwi players feel about it. But
Leech definitely does.
Leech definitely does. Yeah,
You
right.
know what? Going back onto a point, because I was going to say it earlier, I think the success of this team coming out of zone is going to be a lot dependent on how well Gaza plays. Because in terms of like a skill level, and like I understand that you guys haven't seen them.
Yeah.
I remember playing Gaza in WA on SM5. Now this is nearing on 10 years ago. Having like watched Gaza play, watched him do things in WA, watched him do things in Sunny Coast, all that kind of stuff. His transition to SM5 is going to be pretty straightforward. It's not going to be a massive jump.
Right.
And off pure raw skill level, I'd put him on the same level as Morange.
Right.
So
Okay.
when like you start looking at that, you're looking at that, and like in saying this, I don't know what Josiah has done in the last couple of years, but looking at that Josiah Cody level from New Zealand, I can see Gaza kind of hitting that mark within the first couple of matches.
Yeah.
And
the big
I
thing
think
is the rules. Like that'll be the great separator.
I think with him it's going to be pretty straightforward.
Maybe.
Because he like in zone he plays, but he always plays low, so coming from like that low angle anyway, it's a relatively easy switch, where if you're playing kind of more high and things like that and you play that switch out in front, it's a little bit more difficult, where Gaza plays quite central and low to his body, and so it doesn't really change how much like what he's going to have to do in this whole procedure of like crossing over.
Right.
But I could see him easily walking into Brisbane and scoring 13, 14 Ks.
Hopefully.
As commander.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I think I think the general consensus is, we 100% want to be surprised.
Yeah.
By this zone team, and because obviously, like, the easy prediction and the tearing out that obviously we did last week was like, well, yeah, some 7th, 8th, because we just don't know, for starters. But also because it's not your game format. It's not this. It's not that. It's not the other. But secretly, or even not so secretly, I think everybody is like, can they come and just do a thing? Because that would be really fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's always fun when a team goes into a system that isn't theirs and exceeds expectations.
100%.
Like,
I think the thing is, as well, is that it's an age thing. Like, if you asked this Brisbane A team to go across and play zone right now, apart from myself, Brent's going to dislocate his shoulder within 5 seconds.
Correct. 100%.
JFK's going to lose his glasses and then do a hip.
Also, yes.
Andrew's too fat to do anything now anyway. Don't worry, this is coming from a fatty. Me and Andrew were talking about it the other night. We were like, who's more rotund? Who's more of a circle, me or you?
Yes.
But then, like, you've got Basil and Sharpshooter who would be able to jump in there and pick it up pretty straight away.
Body type, it seems like.
Yeah.
Very, like lean, lanky, fast. Which anytime I go to the one time I went to a zone competition, outside of Taipan, everyone else was very tall, lean, like,
It's a very meta body type to have.
Yeah.
Being tall, you can pivot your sensors like off your waist. So I've got the stream so I can hear Than run. So there's the delay.
I'll tell you what, if you mute it, I'll tell you when Than's about to talk.
Okay, awesome. But being tall and lanky means you can move your sensors really well, and then you just have so much reach. And so being able to stand 3 meters behind a panel and put your gun around that wall is so powerful.
Yeah. Or if you're tall and shoot over the top of walls, like that's
we're not allowed to in zone. You're full height, you can't.
That's right.
But yeah.
We had a couple of guys. So in 2010, I made the trip over to Chula Vista in California, and we played Space Marines, but we played it with what we called at the time the US rule set, which is more of a zone based rule set, and yeah, a couple of those players were very tall and were able to shoot over the walls, and tank out of
St. George.
St. George, tank and tiny.
Yeah.
Yep. Very tall players with the ability to shoot over walls, and I was just like, this sucks. Like,
that tournament being played without the proper shielding rule and being played on equipment where you couldn't consistently hit the front of the guns. Let's put it this way. I was glad hearing about it that I had just gotten a new role at work like a month or so before that tournament, and so I couldn't go because I couldn't take the time off from work. Like after hearing like all the stories and everything from it, it's like that would have just been like, nah, I would not have had any fun. But the flip side of that is that because of that tourney being such a like not good experience, it meant that when Sanch said, "Hey, I want it for 2011, and I want it to be with the international rules," like one thing definitely led to the other, which is then obviously kind of spurred the wider adoption of it in the US. So yeah, that year really sucked, but kind of the net there was a net positive follow-on from it, which can't really be discounted as far as that goes.
Part of it was that year, it was basically the Brisbane team, but it was a team known as the Team Down Under because a couple of us Kiwis were on that team.
Always get health insurance, kids.
Yeah, I got terribly sick. It was the birth of Kiwi AIDS. But we I say we very loosely, we won that tournament, and it was kind of a
Didn't you play like 2 games?
Yeah, I played like next to no tag. It was brutal. But part of the success of that team was like, okay, so they've proved that they can go in and play with this rule set and win, but understand that we think this is not the best format of our game, and it comes down to like the fluidness of the game. And I think like once you guys like you were saying before, Cam, about like how you're quite a fluid player, I think you'll enjoy that kind of style of play. Like this is what gets me excited about this tournament and you guys is, if that's how you like to play, you'll notice that, oh, okay, so actually showing a shoulder or playing with resets or whatever does, like you would think that it wouldn't make it a fluid game, but I think you'll find the contrary is true.
Yeah,
it opens the game up.
Yeah, it means that you are forced to come out of your like spots, right? Like it forces you out of your spots.
I really hope we can find that sweet spot of playing legally and clean and playing to how we're comfortable on zone, because we sort of, I feel like we have a comfortable on Laserforce play style,
right?
Like I said before, as we like ease into playing it more and more, but whether that's legal within your rulebook or not is highly debated, because we're still playing zone style.
Yeah.
So if we can bring that over to here where it's legal and comfortable for us, and we're not getting frustrated that we're not playing as well as we can. Because like when we went over to Perth for that comp, we were not playing well just because of the system.
Yeah.
And our mental was terrible. We're like, oh, I should be doing better.
Right.
So as long as we can get over that and then find where we're comfortable, I think it will really work well with our play styles.
For sure.
I think this is going to probably benefit you more than WA did, purely on the fact that it is completely different.
Yes.
And the thing is that like, and you'll notice it straight away, right? Where like, and what did we end up calling it? There was C group, there was N group, and there's U group. Is that what we ended up calling it?
Oh, I think
because you've
Dart
got
referenced that earlier. See in
Yeah,
you?
because you've got C grip,
Unk.
which is
This
Yeah.
one.
so over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Then you got that one.
and then you've got N grip, which is completely over the top.
Yeah.
So you've got like half over, which is C grip. You've got completely over. Yeah, so that's N grip, and then you've got U grip, which is under the bottom.
Yeah.
So if you just go to U grip, so completely flip it, that is the easiest way to play SM5
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
because it keeps you relatively central anyway, right?
Yeah. You're
Like yes, you can go up, but it keeps you central.
you're like
Where, yeah, so it in the US it got banned. Actually, it might have been banned internationally that C grip was illegal.
Well, so initially it covered that sensor, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sam, but there's that sensor down the, not the actual barrel, but the little
On the
bit,
sides.
it was on the sides, right?
Yeah.
Those bits, yeah. If you had that C grip, it would block the sensor, which is illegal.
So there was a very specific way that you could do a C grip and have that sensor still be exposed for a straight down the barrel shot.
Right.
But it's very easy for your hand to slip and suddenly be completely occluding it.
Yeah.
Combined with because of how the IR would cone out from those front sensors on the boards, like even if you weren't doing that, you could not consistently hit the front of the guns.
Right.
Which it was. Oh, and we lost Beans again.
Oh, bye, Beans.
So there was a whole thing with like I do actually remember when the when the Gen 5 guns first released, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, there's going to be a consistent a consistent sensor that you're going to be able to hit straight down the barrel. Okay, well, we don't need the we don't need to have the shielding rule as written with having to show a shoulder anymore, because obviously with the Gen 4 guns, with only having like the one sensor down the barrel that could be easily broken, not that League players would ever do that, like you 100% needed to have the shoulder rule to encourage movement. When the Gen 5 phasers initially came out, the thought was like, oh yeah, you can hit these down the barrel, so therefore you don't need it. And if I remember correctly, they did actually, they tested it in Brisbane for a few weeks with the Gen 5 guns, like with not having to show a shoulder, and they figured out pretty quickly that because of how the IR coned out from the front, you still couldn't hit down the barrel of the phasers consistently. Like you could do it, but it was like a 40 to 50% shot maybe.
Right. So
shoulder rule came back in / never left, and away you went.
Yeah.
With the Chula Vista guys, like there was a combination of it was some zone players that came over, just as well as like how the game evolved there kind of before they got, and we lost Beans again, and how they got how the game evolved before they kind of got in contact with kind of the wider realm. And so they were big C grip, this, that, the other, but yeah, it was not ideal as far as that goes.
Yeah. There used to be like a contingent of our players that would play, like we would hold a gun like that, they would flip their hand. I remember Viruses was big on like that grip.
Yeah, that immediately leads to this one.
That's right, and that's why I say, like, anytime you vary it, like vary that triangle, like you run into trouble. Cam, are you back?
I'm back for the third time.
Can you hear Dan again?
Yeah, it just
Okay,
keeps
what's
dropping.
going now?
I think I can hear Dan.
Thank
you.
Maybe now, possibly. No, judging by his reaction, I'm gonna go with no.
Okay.
I thought I was gonna drop out again. I could hear him when I joined back the second time.
But
But you can't hear him now.
Well,
This is
look,
hilarious.
Yeah.
We've been
We have
gone-
well gone over the hour and a half.
Yeah.
You guys did say that when Taipan's on, we will talk for hours.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
Because I talk so much shit.
Yeah, it's perfect. That's why you have a podcast.
I match you with the shit talking. I match the energy. So it's a
Exactly.
terrible combination.
What we'll do is we'll go start a stream. Maybe we'll call it the Resupplied and then we'll be the entertainment.
So what you've
version.
done is you've added a couple of D's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Two
and
big,
an
two big D's at the
apostrophe.
end.
It's an expensive apostrophe.
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
Duncan, who I play disc golf with every week, he keeps calling us. What do you call us? The reflux pod or something. I can't remember what it was. Great.
the refreshers.
No, right, no, not that Duncan. Different Duncan. Look, we've been gone for a while, and we theoretically could keep going, but I'm gonna cut us off.
Yeah, I've ordered sushi.
I gotta go and do some exercise as well. Get fun.
I haven't had breakfast. I woke up and I joined the podcast. So
Tisk.
The Resupply, sponsored by Nutrigrain.
Boys, thank you. We fucking wish. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Taipan, obviously, it's always a pleasure to have you here.
It's not, but
Never a pleasure.
But we'll keep lying. We'll keep lying.
Entertainment value, Than.
Cam, thank you so. It was super nice to meet you, dude. I'm.
Yeah.
You know, the bridge has been gapped.
It has. I'm the partisan. Is that the word? Partisan.
You're the start of the part of something new.
Yes. Laserforce.
Yeah,
Loan.
Yeah. Loan. I like loan.
Loan.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for coming on. Like, honestly, dude, reach out to any of us. Reach out to the scene as a whole. And this goes for obviously your teammates as well. We are happy to help. Happy to answer any questions you guys might have. We want you to do well. We just don't want you to do that.
Better than us. Yeah.
Guys, if Owen Mitchell reaches out to you, don't fucking add him. That's the ginger.
All right, done.
Be careful of the gingers.
I've got a rule, so we're no. But we should be back on next week with DK. He should be back hopefully. If not, we'll just wing it. We always wing it.
I'll come talk some more shit. It's fine.
We'll log in and you never left.
Yep. Guys, I'm still here.
Yeah, just be talking to yourself for a week. This is how I
sushi.
Feel. The Discord needs a tag for gingers.
Yes, please do that. That would be great.
Just the bot flags every post they make.
Can we classify Baden as a ginger?
I think he was classified one at birth.
Because he's not really a ginger.
I mean, he
Like,
is.
Brent's a ginger.
Yeah. Baden just hides it a little bit. We've got a way that we end the show. Boys, I'd like you to join in. Taipan, you go first. Beans, just you'll get it.
Okay.
We will be back on next week. I want to start doing some more midweek streams. I've got a box of Lego here that definitely needs sorting, but just over here is a massive amount of Lego that I want to start getting back into building. But at the moment, the Nats hype train is well and truly it's at full pace. They should make a movie about it and cast The Rock. I don't know why. I think was he in that
Who's
train
The
movie?
Rock going to play?
The Train.
I was talking about
Obviously,
laser
The Train.
tag.
But we'll let you guys
The
get
Rock
on with
starring
your
as
weekend.
Steve Brew.
Thank you, chat, for coming to hang out with us. If you haven't already, join the Discord. Come and extend the conversation there. We'd love to have you in there. If you are struggling to see anything in the Discord, it's because you haven't followed the instructions. Just read
Taipan.
Read the instructions, and then you can join in the conversation. It's
What?
well worth your time.
I can't see you.
You look just like me. But for this week, I have been Guy Next Door.
Taipan, you go next. I end it.
Oh, do you?
No, you
Yeah.
never do.
Go again.
Goodness me, is this your first
You
time
never
here?
end it.
You go
I
next.
usually
Please
end
end
it.
it.
No, not when we have guests.
Yeah, you want me to guess?
No,
No.
never. Go back and watch a show.
Hearing this one-sided is very fun.
It's okay because we'll fix it in post. All right,
Okay,
and
awesome.
For this week, I've been Guy Next Door.
I've been Fan.
I've been cunted. I mean Taipan.
And I've been Coolbeans.
There we go. Always remember to backtrack, kids. We will see you. We will see you next
Fucking
week.
fan.
I know, right? You got one job. I can't wait to clip the ending and send it to you. Ka kite anō. We'll see you guys next week.